Yo, what's going on out there, everybody? We are back. I am here with somebody else this time. This is Brandon from Movers and Shakers Unlimited. What's going on, Brandon?
What up, dude?
Hey, we about to kind of get it in, you guys. So because this is on demand, you guys, we don't have to sit there and wait through a whole different schedule. To be honest with you guys, I took a whole nap, got me some food, chilled out. This is not August the 22nd, which I appreciate. The only critique that I have is that they honestly just could have done this from the beginning. They could have had it on Friday until Sunday, just had these things completely available. Have you seen what it looks like, Brandon? Like as far as the way
it seems like what the goal was going to be initially, and like what it should have been for the first part.
Yeah, because the Hall of Heroes is right here. This stuff.
This wasn't what it was for the first quote unquote show.
Yeah, and it's like everything is just right here at your disposal, which I love. And I really feel like this didn't have the amount of attention that the August 22nd had. Even though this has some bangers.
More, actually, ironically.
Yeah. But I mean, what can you do? They did put up the screening for Superman Man of Tomorrow. So any of you guys that do want to see that, go and check that out. I personally, it was not my favorite of the animated features. Go and check out Lucas Moore's review for that on our Team JVS page. But we're gonna try to get through The Flash, Black Lightning, and maybe a few other panels before we close out for the day. Is there any specific panels you wanted to check out besides The Flash and Black Lightning?
I mean, it's always great to check out. I feel a lot of the ones that deal with the behind the scenes of some of the other disciplines that are incorporated with making a show or film have been fascinating. I do enjoy those. I know a lot of people, unfortunately, a lot of times overlook those, but they are important components of the show. A show would be naked without them. Having choreography, having composers, having writers, creators, all of those other components are vital parts of a show or film. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Completely agree. And one of the things we did for our part one is we watched the stunt coordinators for Black Lightning, for Justice League, the new Future Flash movie, the way that they were it was amazing. It was one of the more exciting panels. And I like that they didn't just use a whole bunch of talking. They actually showed it. They actually broke down the scenes. And if there's one that I probably want to check out with that, would be the VFX. I think they should have a VFX panel for these shows and movies. I think that'd be one to be interesting. Only reason why I want to start off with the Flash because it is the longest panel, and I'm just gonna go ahead and get through it. That's the best way I can put it. There we go, guys. Anybody in the chat, let us know what your thoughts.
My name is Barry Allen, and I am the fastest man alive.
So what did you think about the last season?
I'll be honest with you, with a lot of the seasons, I mean, I've watched the first couple of seasons, dedicatedly watched every single episode all the way through, and beyond that, I'll be honest, I've seen many of the episodes, but I have not seen them all the way through. The ones that I have been very on top of have been the crossovers, but outside of that, because there's just so much. You have Legends of Tomorrow, you have The Flash, you have Arrow, you have Supergirl, and now they've included a lot of these other shows in that universe as well. So it's a lot.
Yeah.
Welcome.
But you do FanDome. Make sure you check out the crossover. Whenever the crossover is, you watch those. Okay.
Joining me today, we have Grant Gustin, who plays the Scarlet Pizza himself, the Flash, aka Barry Allen.
You can tell that man has not been on set with that beard like that.
Daniel Panabaker, who pulls double duty.
Shouts out to her. She just had a baby.
And Frost.
I think.
Carlos Valdez, who plays the ever quotable.
Because a lot of people thought that she wasn't going to be in this season because
Daniel
she was
Nicolay,
pregnant.
who plays meta attorney.
And like the back end of last season,
Brandon McKnight, who plays.
They had to do a lot of like top shots for her scenes.
Ayla Compton, who plays.
But by this time,
it's pretty sad. Like it's normally the norm.
Also, we have
having like sitting behind
Eric
stuff.
Wallace.
So.
Hi guys.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't even know that Gal Gadot was pregnant during Wonder Woman.
I do want to go back to season 6, which I think was a really unique year for the show. Because Eric, you came to the season, you decided to split the season into 2 parts. Looking back on it now, how successful do you feel that was? How effective was that?
I thought it was really successful. It gave a new energy, I think, to the season. In the first half with Bloodwork, we were able to really drill down on Barry's story and on dealing with crisis. Vice versa, in the back half, we're able to really drill into Iris's character and to Citizen and Eva's story. And then we'll see at the top of season 7 how it all comes together as well.
And for the cast, especially the ones who've been here since season 1,
I'm so glad
in the moment, did you feel
they changed the suit
about the show and how it was structured?
To the chin strap.
I was a big fan of it. I'm
when this
really
man didn't have a chin strap,
just
bro,
the
that
opportunity
suit
to
looked
really flesh out those villains a little bit more and not spread them out so much that you feel like you're sort of filling in episodes to get to the end.
I think a show needs to change in order to grow.
Yeah, I think as an actor too, it prevents fatigue throughout the season. 22 episodes is a long time, 9 months. And I think for us having this kind of break in the season where a new sort of storyline emerges kind of puts us in a headspace of, feeling reinvigorated with the work. So yeah, it makes the season a bit easier to swallow. Altogether.
Brandon, you feel like
mentioned the first half
the CW shows
Barry's
seasons are just too long? Like they average around 22 episodes, minus Black Lightning. Black Lightning tried to stick around like 16 to 15. But
I feel that there can be a lot of episodes. I know a lot of people have argued that there have been episodes that have seemed to be filler.
Not as much as you're inevitable.
I haven't experienced that because most of the episodes that I've watched, I've enjoyed watching. But again, like I am watching a lot of the seasons. It's been kind of what's the word? Cut up in terms of my in terms of the episodes that I've seen over the course of the season.
What was it like? Sort of
I know a lot of people
in that way. With like the Last Temptation, Barry Allen.
Because it feels like a lot of the time.
I've said it a few times since we finished it.
After
that
like
was a
the
really
third
special
season,
to me, and I think it
when
really
they got past like the
was a good episode
arc,
to show just
it kind of felt like
culmination of all of his
each
emotions.
season had like half and half. Like you got, but the first 12 episodes is one season. Then the back half is just one season, but then they're still tied together with an overarching villain.
Did you find that episode particularly challenging?
And it's just kind of like rinse and repeat,
It was a
rinse and
special
repeat.
episode, but it was definitely
one thing that I will say is that
they did a great job. Everyone was really
interesting in seeing what villains have been like overarching. There seem to be, which I understand.
What was it like to sort of explore that
having
side
a
of
lot
Iris
of
in more
features as
detail?
villains, but
long time coming. We've kind of
I've enjoyed when there's been variety, when we've had folks
it's always
like
kind of been put on the back burner.
other characters that are not necessarily species, but they are viable threats as antagonists.
Having more women having this kind of Charlie's Angels sort of,
having his daughter, that character's daughter on the show as a part of the show's plot.
I do want to dig more into that. A couple fans had some questions at the end. In the season, I guess, did you feel like you discovered something new about Iris through this material?
She has this conversation with Barry as Mirror Iris, but I think it's very indicative of how real Iris truly feels, which is that, she can't always be, the victim, and she's not always looking to be saved, and that she has to go out there and kind of have her own agency and do her own thing. And I think it was, words that came through Mirror Iris, but it's very true of real Iris needing to have her own agency and her own life and her own mission. And so that to me was kind of the spark of Iris kind of taking over her own life and, still loving Barry and still wanting this deep, meaningful relationship, but kind of separating in a way and saying, I have have to do my own thing. I have to chase after villains. I have to chase after stories, no matter how dangerous it is. You put your life on the line to protect your city. And so I feel like I should have the right to do that as well, with superpowers or without. I was following up on a lead. So
I do like that the dynamic for all the shows changed.
Something could have happened
after
that right there, that's
Crisis.
why I didn't tell you. I don't need you to save me. I can handle myself.
Honestly,
how did you sort of?
It was annoying that all these different shows were in
Iris
different
and Mirror
universes.
Iris when you're playing them?
I was really
Iris
bad
and
when they
Mirror
just
Iris, we
like
wanted
they're
it
all
to
in
feel
one.
like we didn't know who was who. We wanted the
But
audience
to a
believe
degree,
that
I get it because
Iris and Mirror Iris were
I mean,
almost
time and time
identical.
again,
As
you know,
the
we can
season
attest
kind
to
of
this time and
progressed,
time
these
again
things kind of chipping
with
away.
a lot of
Mirror Iris
let's
becoming more and more
be
sinister and
transparent.
evil,
You know,
and kind
the
of being
fact
taken
that
over more and more
the MCU
from Eva. So a lot of
has
it came in the script,
mastered
of just letting the
doing
script
a shared universe,
progress
and
and
a lot
letting
of
Mirror
other
Iris become more and more
party
sinister.
studios,
That's episode
whether
611
small
Loves
screen
the
or big
Battlefield,
screen, tried to follow
in
suit.
which
We've seen
Iris gets to break a
where
bottle
they-
over a dude's head. How awesome was that?
Everything
It was super fun.
I mean, that really culminated in the Barry versus Mirror Iris fight, which is something we've never seen.
It still
those characters
allows
do or in a
kind of
situation like that with each other.
still being able to have it all in one universe, but still having the freedom to do other things too.
Yeah. And one thing I did like, you guys, is Barry, the second half of the season was depowered. He was slowly actually losing his connection to the Speed Force. I did like that.
You know, straight
because
edge reporter, and so
most
for me to ever get powers and then to have
question
a dual personality and get to
like
fight.
Barry,
I mean,
you
it's
can
all
move
true
faster than
true
people can
kind of
even
stuff,
think.
you know, for 6
Like
years,
there should be
I think
nothing
an
that you
actor is
shouldn't be
always
able to
looking
stop.
for
Like anybody has a gun or
And on the
anything,
subject of new things, I mean,
it
this season
shouldn't even be a fight.
2 new characters,
But
with Chester
when you got a
and
situation
Kayla,
like this,
you have 2 now
where he's
series
losing
regulars
power,
coming into season 7,
it
how
makes it
was
more
your experience
interesting and
coming
compelling.
into a show that sort of
But
6 seasons in and sort of finding your way through it.
I was intimidated for sure. I knew
the
these
most
guys
I
were
like
family,
is your
and
reactions about The Walking
was
Dead.
nervous.
You should
I think
react
it was
about the
Danny was one of the
news.
first people that made me feel
The
so
fact that
welcome.
the 11th season will be the
We were
last
shooting
season.
a scene and it was really hot.
Celine,
and, she just took me under her wing instantly.
I kind of
and
felt
I remember
like
she
that
like,
was
"Do you
going to
wanna take a picture?"
happen.
And I was like,
I had a conversation with
"Do I
Jarrell,
want to take a picture with you?"
and I felt like
yes.
they were
And
going
then I got
to
the courage to like
close
ask
the
other
gap
people to take
at
pictures
the
'cause
end
she was,
of
like,
this
made me feel
season
so welcome
to close stuff out. Like it
So that
felt like
kind
it
of
was
stuff
time.
And let's be honest, the writing was kind of on the
I am a
wall.
big fan of the show, and I watched the show.
The
Flash is my little sister's favorite superhero, so we watched the show since season 1. So I already came in already like understanding what the show was about, what the show's tone was, stuff like that. For me, it was more so just meeting everybody and
saying, "Hey, this is my
getting into
final
the same
season.
vibe that
I'm
everybody
leaving
else,
the
because
show."
everybody
It
had
was like
5-6 years to really learn about each other and learn how everybody works together. And, I was just trying to find my spot and my place, without interrupting or changing too much.
And Brandon, I know in the past,
But
Eric has talked
Celine
about
Trust,
how,
I will be
with Chester,
doing
he
reviews.
it's sort of like him.
I might be doing reactions. I've kind of fallen away from that, Celine, to be honest with you.
Crafting this performance as Chester,
because the more press stuff I do, and the more stuff they give me early, like it's kind of.
I remember the first day.
It's kind of hard to try to react to stuff that I'm getting early. So
it's funny. The first episode 601, the first maybe.
We'll see. I'm gonna try to see if I can make a way for you guys to get some reactions.
I was pretty much just in a coma the entire time, so I was just laying on a bench or sitting at a table and stuff like that. And I remember him telling me, because I had the monologue coming up.
I feel like this dude
when I'm in my garage
was a YouTuber
the stream,
and got a role.
And I remember him just telling me this
on
guy,
the Flash.
This guy's brain works faster than his mouth. He can't
look that up.
as quick as he thinks. So every time he has a thought, he's going to another place, and then he has another thought, and he's excited about all the thoughts that he's having. So those are like that. I remember that specifically because I remember going into it being like, I don't know how much energy this guy's supposed to have. He's written with a lot of energy. He's written to be really zany and really crazy and really fun, but I don't know how big I'm allowed to go and blah, 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 blah. So Eric really showed me that, you can go as big as you want to go. If it's too much, they'll take it down, that sort of thing.
I'll never forget the first time I saw Brandon work. Danielle was directing, so I came by set to see how it was going. and they were shooting the montage of like you had just woken
So
up and you were
fun.
like,
Yeah.
exploring Star Labs and checking all the equipment.
Yeah.
And I don't think I had even met you yet. I was looking at you on the
Yeah,
monitor.
that was the
and I
first day we
like,
met. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think I came in and said something to you because I said to Danielle, like, this dude is incredible. Like, you were doing things that, I wish I could get to do on the show, and I certainly wouldn't be able to do them the way that you can do them. So I was super impressed.
It was so fun. I mean, I remember that scene too, that sequence. I had such a good time, and I feel like we shot a lot more than ultimately ended up in the episode. But we were just having such a good time with it. But I also remember in 601, we saw your monologue. I think it was certainly before I'd had any scenes with you. And I feel like we watched your monologue and we all looked at each other and we're like, oh, he's great. Like, so he really came into the show with a lot of love.
Hey, what up, party people? Welcome to a world where all are welcome in anything, including the
He straight up came out there like a fan.
can and probably will happen. I'm your boy, Chicka Chester. Knowledge from the bleeding edge of physics and beyond.
Kayla, with Allegra, I'm curious, coming into the show, I mean, how did you sort of connect with your character and what ways did you relate to her?
The way I look at Allegra is that
I've seen her in other shows before. I just can't pinpoint in my head where I've seen her in other shows.
Super resonate with that.
I have too.
My family is really important to me. My friendships are really important to me, and belonging to something or having a community is just really important to me. So that was one of the first things that I connected with Allegra. She just wants a family and she wants to belong, and she hasn't had that previously. And so I super resonate with her on that level.
For you, I guess
you're in the Flash family now.
Yeah. Thanks.
I mean, with the character, did you feel like you sort of really clicked in with her immediately, sort of on day one, or was there sort of a process for you to sort of figure your way through that?
Yeah, I mean, I think I learned more about her with every episode. I also, my first episode, I didn't know if there was going to be more episodes for me. And so that was all I had. And so I just really gave that my everything. And in that first episode, you learn a little bit about her history and a criminal background. And so that I didn't necessarily immediately get on with, but as I've, done more episodes, I learned.
Oh, I just realized the elongated man is not
with her more.
Danielle, I mean, we
going to
just talked
be
about
part of the cast anymore. Forgot about that.
Sort of, acting has informed you as a director. I'm curious, after directing for the show, how has that sort of formed how you approach your role as an actor on the show, both as Caitlin and Frost?
I feel like part of the reason I love directing so much is because I've always tried to, be on set with my eyes wide open and look at all the different departments and learn as much as I can. So I definitely feel like it's informed. You're right. I do feel like the directing's informed my acting, but hopefully my acting informed my directing too. All, those years of experience and spending time on set. I love it. I'm excited to get back to work too.
And this season 6, was all about sort of Frost finding herself or finding a way to craft a life for herself. For you, what was it like to explore that journey with this character in season 6?
It was great. It was really fun to get to explore Killer Frost as a real character and a person and a human being with feelings and emotions, and not just necessarily this person who, pops up for a fight and then disappears and we don't really know her perspective on things. So it was really fun.
I do like what they're doing with Killer Frost.
Like, they're a little bit of fun with it.
They're giving her more depth.
Was saying earlier, it's nice to have the variety after 6 seasons and 100.
I feel like Cisco though
150 episodes.
For you, I mean, what do you think is sort
the
of
moment
the
that Cisco decided he wanted to take the cure?
Development.
I'm excited because it sounds like Killer Frost.
No longer understood the role really for Cisco.
Do we think she has the best table manners?
Because he's smart and he's a great engineer. But
Danny, I mean, again,
I feel like some people fail to believe that Barry is intelligent, or that Wells can take care. Any Wells is there can do what Cisco's done.
From when she was initially introduced.
I don't know. I feel like they should be doing more with Cisco from a developmental standpoint. Like they've given him like love interests, they've given him like death, they've given him like a way out. But they haven't really
I get to
focused him as a hero at all.
Since I joined the show
Agreed.
a couple seasons after it started, I always sort of felt like coming into it, my job was to figure out what how I can be whatever puzzle piece is missing. Everyone else on the show's already so amazing, and their characters are
And
so
she,
well fleshed
man,
out
Cecile, she just fit in perfectly.
I'm always
She's like the mom of the whole show.
where Cecile fits,
And then
where
they
she
gave her
can
powers,
support
and
the
it was
team,
like,
and where
oh
she can
shoot,
support the
she's
show,
useful.
in its entirety. So it's a blast for me because I got to be a regular person, and I got to be a telepath, and then I got to be an empath, and then now I am a meta defense attorney. And then from what I understand, there's going to be some shifts next season too.
In shooting those scenes where her empath powers
And the comics, Barry is able to speed read.
go through that as
and
the actor.
remember
Do
it
you,
forever.
Like, imagine like the sound.
But during the early
like,
season, they made him forget.
On TV, or how do you?
It was a little hard to kind of wrap my head around in the
I know.
beginning. I think it's hard for anyone to play.
I don't know
whether
what
they're coming
they-
out of their hands or they're inside.
They
or in the
nerf
middle.
Barry Allen
I
so
think
much.
just as an actor, you have to go back to basics.
And they nerf him for
believe where
unexpected
you're at
reasons.
and
Like
completely
when there's
invest
times
in
where he's not
your
losing any
character's
powers,
reality,
he just doesn't think
and
to use
that's
his
her
ability.
reality. And so I just
He doesn't
try
think to
really
use
just believe
his
what's
deductive
on the
reasoning
page
or his
just like
CSI
Barry
skills.
and play it exactly.
And then
that
when
way.
he is losing powers,
Is there something that you're hoping
like
to do that you
he's
haven't
hyper.
gotten a chance
It's,
to
it's,
do?
I don't know.
I have always, this is
Yeah.
this is not news to anybody. Eric will not be surprised. I
Immediately.
have wanted Cecile to be bad, just a little bit bad, forever. So just a little bit, because she's so good. I would have a lot of fun playing like bad Cecile. I've offered many times to switch powers with Killer Frost just for an episode, but unfortunately, Eric does not believe me to be as good of a writer as I am. Actor. So he continues to not buy my pitches.
That's hilarious.
But I listen. I am listening. I'm listening. I feel you. You never know. You never know.
And Carlos, I mean, this season 5 ended with him giving up his powers, and this season was very much about him figuring out what his role on the team was without those powers. After 5 seasons of Cisco's vibe, what was it like for you to explore this new, this Cisco in a new place like this?
I don't think he regrets that decision, but I think it definitely haunts him. I'm actually feeling a lot like Cisco these days because, like, you know, I'll have a fan that I'll like see on the street or whatever. They'll be like, "Yo, but vibe though, come on." Yeah, and I have to imagine Cisco's probably feeling very similarly. Like, I know, okay, but you know, it was such a big decision for him that I feel like the ripple effect, you know, the repercussions for that in terms of, you know, Cisco's sense of identity, you know, we're still seeing those waves, and we'll continue to see those waves into season 7. So I'm just, you know, riding the wave.
The beginning of season 6 actually had an episode called Kiss Kiss Breach Breach, which is Cisco-centric, and included on the DVD set coming out in August is a black and white version of that episode, and we have a clip from that episode. So let's check it out.
Wait, what?
You murdered my daughter! No, I didn't do it! I swear! Liar!
Believe me! Leave him alone!
Where did you get that?
In Cisco's workshop. I don't know how it got there.
I do. He just murdered my daughter with it.
No, Preacher, I don't care what you think you saw, okay? You know Cisco. You know how much he cared about Gypsy. There's got to be another explanation.
Babe, please.
No, what about doppelgangers?
She's right. There's thousands of other versions of me out there.
Yeah, and they're all pencil pushers. None of
Yeah,
them
you
are
two about to
scientists.
shut this whole clip down.
You had motive, just enough guts to do this.
Preacher, I swear, I don't know how this is possible. Unless...
That was pretty messed up that his doppelganger killed like his
breed psychosis.
Camilla, what time did you find me sleepwalking the other night?
Oh, he did. I can't remember. I felt like
4 a.m.
I thought it was a doppelganger that killed her.
Oh! You're guilty! But you're not in your right mind. I didn't just lose a daughter today.
Lost a son.
I lost a son.
Dang.
Because I still respect the man you were.
Shout outs to Danny Trejo.
I'm going to give you an hour to get all your affairs in order. and then turn yourself in, or I will end you.
Wow. That wasn't the most
I
episode.
want to say shout out to all the
Wow,
folks.
right.
Pretty
I was so excited.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Eric, what was
You know who they
what
are,
was
Blake
the release of black and white version
Dane
of the episode?
Chan, Sherry
Well,
Sean,
it's a film noir story.
Nathan
And
Yeah.
I always
Bruin.
wanted it to be black and
Scott
white.
Rock.
What was really great in making
Yeah, that was one of the better
with the
episodes,
director
for
Minaj Huda, he had an idea because he knew I wanted it to be in black and white. He said, well, why don't we do the vibes in black and white? And it's something that Carlos had always talked about, is how you could do vibes differently and how unique that could be as a directorial challenge. And Carlos was saying how even way back in season 1, that was something they needed to figure out. Well, when Minaj did that, we cut it into the episode. It dawned on me, oh, we can have a special edition of this that achieves this vision of an entire film noir story, all in black and white. Danny Trejo in black and white. How awesome is that?
Carlos, for you, I mean, that again, the episode was so Cisco-centric about him dealing with Gypsy's death. What was it like leading the A-plot?
So gratifying to my budding narcissism.
It's so weird because
getting
the
to
character that played the role of
Danny
Gypsy,
is
she went over to Watchmen.
Such a pleasure.
But
And
like
also
her
getting to,
character didn't even show her face.
Sort of
Like she had a guard on her face the whole time.
Too. I felt like at that point, like, the relationship was progressing and it needed to reach a major crucible or something. And I think that episode definitely did that. And it was a perfect way to sort of demonstrate how these two are compatible. So yeah, it was very gratifying.
And the last time we saw Cisco in the season, he was heading off to Atlantis. I'm curious, in your mind, have you sort of thought about what Cisco does, what someone does in Atlantis when they visit?
I just chatted up with the dolphins and stuff. Definitely, probably some action somewhere. I hope Cisco comes back from Atlantis soon, because Atlantis does not pay as well.
And on that note, we also have a sizzle reel for what's to come in season 7.
Oh,
when we last left off season 6, Eva McCulloch had gotten what she wanted, and she framed Sue. And the sizzle will sort of tease what's to come when they return. So check out that clip.
All right, what's up? Because now I get to see where it's going for season 7.
This company is all mine. You lost your speed? You're not much of a threat, are you? You just stay out of my way, Flash.
Iris is my wife. I have to save her.
What are you? I am a product of your broken mind.
How much speed do you have left?
Enough for a few hours. I need your help to build an artificial speed force.
Dang.
I was an empath too, only I never held back. What did you do to me? Imagine what you'd become if we weren't so afraid.
What the flip?
I was trying to save you. Now you're friends. Now your husband. There's only 2 options in this place: survival or madness. You lied.
Yeah, I lied.
Oh, frack.
There's a supersonic jet about to crash over the city.
And the Flash isn't fast enough to stop it.
Eva can move anywhere, through any mirror in the universe, in the blink of an eye. She's faster than I am, and somehow I'm supposed to stop her?
Wow.
I have unfinished business and a whole world to liberate.
We need a plan.
Bro, y'all need Wally's help for
We've
real,
lost
for real.
so much this year. Some things can't be taken. We still have our will to fight for those we love.
Keep watching. Keep trying to break me, because I'm not afraid of the woman that I am today. But you are, Eva.
Team Flash needs as many hands on deck as possible. We're now Flash.
We go save Iris and our friends.
Get everybody back.
See, I ain't gonna lie, that's exciting. Because he has everything to lose at this point. Like, he doesn't have any...
What we're seeing there.
When we had
He
the
doesn't have
shutdown
anything.
happen, as unfortunate as it was, we were on the last day of filming for what would have been the 20th episode of last season, which now will become partially the first episode of season 7. So we did have 85% of the footage that we were able to use. Plus, also, we knew where we were going already in season 7. So even though it's only footage really from one episode, pay attention to the way it's presented. It's actually huge spoilers all over the place.
And that sizzle had a lot of Iris in it, a lot of Iris in the Mirrorverse. Candace, I mean, can you sort of, in your mind, I guess, how do you think her time in the Mirrorverse has sort of affected her?
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see when she comes out, and I believe she will come out very soon when we pick up season 7. It'll be very interesting.
Yeah,
to
just
see
for context, Brandon,
by being kind of stuck in
the
this
middle of the
maddening world
season,
with this super
because
villain.
of Crisis,
Obviously, Team Flash and Barry were working to get
messed
her.
up and
It took a
infected
while.
the
I
Speed
don't know
Force.
if there's some resentment there, or what's going on, or if
And he
there's
basically
some
killed
like
it.
residual
The Speed Force is gone.
mental effect of being in that mirror world.
And so the episode where Wally came back
I
was
have
so
no idea.
dope
That's
because Wally was like, bro, like you disconnected us from the
Danny,
Speed
the
Force.
sizzle also showed that there's more to come in the way of Cecile's powers. What can you share about that?
I think that it's fair to say Cecile's powers up until this point have been passive. And I think going forward, we're going to see them evolving into something that's more active. We're going to find Cecile exploring that and maybe struggling with it a little bit and finding her way with it. And possibly getting herself into some trouble in the meantime.
Definitely.
Chester becomes even more integral to Team Flash as sort of Team Flash sort of coming back together. What can you say about Chester's sort of the role that Chester will sort of fill on Team Flash?
What Chester's real superpower is his optimism.
Nash currently has sort of all of the wellness from the old multiverse in his mind. I guess.
No, they definitely edited this.
How will the way in which
he was going into something really big, and then they just cut it
radically, but super fun. And you're not going to see it coming. I love the Allegra and Nashwell's relationship so much. It was one of the joys when the dailies would come back and I would see these two wonderful actors kind of getting to know each other from early on, and then exorcism of Nashwell's, learning why they kind of have this relationship. So there'll be more of that.
Preview showed that sort of Barry is sort of working as hard as he can to get his powers back, get his speed back. I mean, for you, do you think Barry has enjoyed any part of not having his speed at this point, or do you think he really does really misses it, I guess?
Yeah, no, I think he really just misses it. I don't think, especially with Iris being trapped in the Mirrorverse at the moment, and then Eva being a factor, I don't think any part of him has been like, well, I guess I'll just enjoy this downtime while I can. I think he genuinely not just wants his powers back, but he feels that he needs them back. And he's also started to feel that they define him and what is he without them. Yeah, I mean, it's taking a toll on him, just mentally.
Big bads for season 7. Eric, what can you tease about who these new, or who I guess, at least the first one, who they will be and what and how they will sort of challenge Team Flash in a new way?
Wow, I don't like spoilers. Let's just say there was a certain speedster who wore a white costume whose clones kept showing up. And it really, Team Flash had to deal with that, but we never caught the real guy or girl, right? Who knows? Let's just say we might find out that mystery this season.
Spoilers, I mean, without spoiling, it's for you. What makes Godspeed an interesting villain for you?
He just was like, I'm gonna ask a question.
Getting into sort of what the show's gonna do with it, but it's like coming to the season, what was it about Godspeed? You're like, oh, there's something there for that.
Two things. One, the current run of the comics that Joshua is writing is terrific. And
seriously,
I want to make sure that new fans, especially new young fans who are reading the comic book right now, are welcomed to the show. So it's not just Silver Age villains and Bronze Age villains. There might be a young girl or a young boy who is reading those Flash comics right now and going, where's my villain, my generation's villain?
Who is this guy anyway?
An old family friend.
Wait, what?
His name's Godspeed, and he's from the future.
Oh, I was like, it's a family
I
friend.
want that same experience for a young person now to go, well, my villain is Godspeed. He's only 8 years. He's only been around for 5 or 8 years or so. So bringing him in is very important to me to expand the audience. That's number one.
What's going on, Frankie?
Godspeed, unlike, say, Reverse Flash, has no emotional connection.
Gamers.
The question is, why is Godspeed
there will
angry at the Flash? We got to keep the show fresh.
There will be female
got
guests on Team JVS.
Yeah,
That's going to be doing reviews,
recently. We have two characters on the
unboxings,
show,
and discussions
Barry and Joe,
going
who
into
are the two working
2021.
in the police
So
department. Have you
I don't know
sort of
about
thought how
gamer
you're gonna
chicks. I don't
approach
know
their jobs in this coming
but
season, and maybe change it, maybe not.
there will be other
The world right now is
female
on fire. We have to look at what's around us. It
contributors
definitely
to Team JVS
informs
and 2021 for sure.
specifically Joe's story this season, but in a good way and in a positive way, because we need to be socially responsible as artists. Yes, I love comic books and the Flash, but I'm a person first. We have to be people first and work together to make the world a better place.
Thank you.
That's where those
Thank
changes
you.
are coming from. So yeah, you'll notice some changes, definitely.
And with that, let's move on to some fan questions.
Hi, I'm Sammy, and this is my question. How is Nashwell's going to adjust with all of the new Harrisons in his mind?
What's it like having a million wells in your head? You're going to find out real fast.
For Grant, which from all over the world wanted to know this, when will we get to see the Flash in the iconic gold boots?
Well, this might be a question for
Wow.
me, but really it's for Eric, because I don't know if this is saying too much, but if it were up to me, it would have been like 2 seasons ago. Eric's going to have to answer this one.
Yeah, well, Grant and I have talked extensively about this. For the record, I love gold boots too, right? I just think they must be right? So it's like, when's the right time to unleash them? I think a story is the best way to unleash them. So I'm determined to get you your gold boots, Grant. I promise. I just can't say when, but it will happen.
That's funny.
Christmas is always a good time to give gifts.
That's funny.
And from South Africa, this is a two-part question. First, as the leader of Team Citizen, how will we see Team Citizen evolve once the show returns?
I don't know. That's more of a question for Eric.
Yes, you'll see much more of Team Citizen investigating a very specific thing that I can't talk about right now because I feel terrible, but it's true. It's true. But they've got a lot of fallout because the leader of Team Citizen is in the Mirrorverse. So what's been going on with Team Citizen while she's been gone? I think they need to start there.
And the second part of that question, can we expect to see more of the mentorship relationship between Iris and Allegra in more of the Team Citizen office?
I hope so. I would expect so. I think if we're going to
So,
spend
CJ?
a lot of work
Hey, what's up?
together, I think it's only natural
Good, man.
to women to
Yeah.
have an evolving.
So I've been running errands today, so I've been keeping up with some of the news. So is this for like the new Flash season?
I think it's a great opportunity.
Yep, this is the Flash season 7 panel.
Beautiful
All right, cool.
female relationship and friendship.
What could need our attention more than this?
Oh man.
Cousin was a victim, Allegra, and now.
Yeah, we initially went like
I mean, how many others are they using?
3 hours and a half.
Right.
Took a break for 2 hours and then came back.
Wants to find out what happened to Esperanza more than me.
I was like, I'd be daggone if I do like I did last time, 9 hours straight. That just wasn't gonna happen.
Yeah, like it was funny. I got in and I was about to join in, and then I realized I had to go back out again to go to run some more errands and stuff. So I was like, well, I'll just jump in later and stuff. So I was like, all right.
I echo that. I echo that. I'm really
Yeah, we're
to that, and I think it's gotta happen.
After
right?
this one, we're gonna go to the Black Lightning panel.
Iris's story.
All right, cool.
I think this is the first time Iris has ever had someone come under her, right? So this is a really good opportunity for lots of new fun stuff.
Last season, we got to see some romantic moments between Barry and Iris, even though
I actually thought that was T-Pain for a second.
Iris. Will we get to see more of that with Real Iris this season? This question comes from Jamaica.
Iris will be getting.
I can see where you see that.
Shortly after we return with season.
Yeah,
7,
just when you look at the
so
full panel, it's like, is that
regardless of
T-Pain?
what exactly that's going to entail, we're going to see them together a lot more next year than we did last year.
They will find their way back to each other eventually. A lot of the romance and
Right.
chemistry.
That's right. She still ain't even pregnant yet. They ain't even had the babies or nothing, so I don't know what they're gonna do.
And the way the characters are written.
I forgot about that.
This one's for you. We have some amazing Flash fan art and cosplay to show you.
Okay, guys, right now I'm looking at a cosplay fan art of Vladimir Morisot. I hope I'm saying that right. It's from
Yo,
California.
that's
And
pretty
this thing
dope.
is epic. Honestly, he's got a better superhero pose than I think I've ever had for a Flash photo shoot. So I
That's
could
pretty
learn
dope.
a thing or two from Vladimir, I think. All right, I love this one by Shannon Beltran from the UK. It's me and my bud Wally, Keenan Lonsdale. I love this moment when we were reunited and we did our fist bump. I think it was scripted as a fist bump, which we were happy to do, but then we were like, I'm hugging Keenan. This is awesome. Good job, Shannon. Hamlet Roman from Colombia. Awesome image of Barry, myself as
Are they doing
Barry
any more
running up a
movie?
building.
Are they doing any more movie
And
news other than just TV show stuff, or is it just
I believe
TV show
season
stuff? That's it.
It's been only TV show stuff. They made like small confirmations.
Well, that'll do it for us today. Thank you all
like
for joining
HBO
this
Max
panel. I had a
wise,
really
they
good time. For
they
everyone
confirmed
watching,
Yeah, I
that
know Doom Patrol. I know Doom Patrol's. Yeah, I know Doom Patrol's popping up on, which I figured that was
And
gonna happen.
again, remember that the Flash, the complete 6th season, is available now on digital and comes out on Blu-ray and DVD on August 25th.
Well, there's that. All right.
That panel was literally just. How long was that panel?
It was. We was looking at that joint for like 40 minutes. This is actually the longest panel. All the rest of them were like 30 minutes or less. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Right.
So they really need to keep that short and to the point.
Yeah, so this is the thing. Look how they got it designed, bro. Like they have it where everything's right here. You can watch it anytime you want to. Like they got a static
is it
shot.
not live?
No, none of this is live. Like you can watch it at your own discretion.
Wow.
And that's why I said they should have done this from the beginning, because even if you go down here to like Hall of Heroes, the stuff that we saw on August 22nd is like right there.
Yeah.
You can just watch it.
See, I was figuring it was all live. That's weird. So did they have a Batwoman panel?
Yeah, that was actually really good. That was actually really good. I still don't know how they're gonna, maneuver Ruby out.
I mean, they introduced Hush and all these other elements, and I'm like, how's that gonna go with old girl, the new girl playing Batwoman now? I'm like, whatever. All right, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely were seeming really enthusiastic about it, but I'm still a little apprehensive whether or not it's gonna mesh. But the actress herself seems like she's all the way for it. So
yeah,
I'm gonna stand behind her on that. All right, here we go. Black Lightning.
All right.
And then we'll try to look for that VFX joint after this. So this is 35 minutes. Lord Jesus. I can't remember. Where did I stop? Dang it. I started on like the 13th episode. I got 3 more episodes to go till I finish the season. All right, guys, here we go.
Welcome to DC Fandom. I'm Robert Townsend, and today we've got a panel with the cast of Black Lightning.
I didn't even recognize that, I didn't even recognize him because the goatee connected. I'm like, who's that? The only problem I'm having with the 3rd season is the writing.
Let's meet the cast that's joining us
Hey,
today.
season.
He plays Gambit.
Yeah, the 3rd season writing
All I
was
gotta say
not
about this
good.
guy
And I know why,
is
because the
he's a method
transition
actor.
between,
I mean, he sold suits to get
what they were
part.
having their
So
issue
please
with
welcome
in their
none
personal life.
None other, Mr.
But-
James Remar. How you doing today, James? How you
Yo,
doing?
shout out to James, bro.
Feeling good. Now, this gentleman plays Painkiller. He's serious about his acting, but he's also serious about fitness and exercising. This guy does 50,000 push-ups a day. Please welcome. I love your look, man. What are you sporting today? What you sporting?
Man, we got the overalls and everything.
Why he looking like he coming out of a 90s music video, bro?
Yeah, shades.
This next
I swear, he look like he's coming straight out the 90s.
Bad guy you love to hate. I mean, because they wrote something in the script about his daddy, so you kind of love him, but you hate him. But he is a bad, bad boy. He plays Tobias Swell. Give it up to Marvin Jones the Third. Marvin, who you repping?
California for sure. I'm repping South Central, but most importantly, I'm repping in late.
Yeah, did I miss the memo? Is this a 90s music video joint?
Apocalypse now, Shakur.
Whoa,
Might be 90s then. Must be the theme.
This next cast member, she plays Dr. Lynn Stewart. And
I'm
her
sorry,
real
but they made
superpower
me
is
hate
that
her
She can do
character
9 pages
bad.
of dialogue and not miss a beat.
Bro.
Did you get that? Did you get that? Did you
Like,
get
she
that?
makes so many crazy decisions, like, it's just annoying at this point. But she's an amazing actress. I just don't like the way they're writing her.
She plays Jennifer. She is the baby of the bunch. She
Same thing
started
with Jen.
acting when she was 1 year old, doing Shakespeare in the Park. Please welcome China Ann McClain.
Yay!
Tell me about your top. I love your top. What is that top?
It's a great clothing line called My Sister's Closet. Look at that.
All right.
That's funny.
All right. Our next cast member, she plays Thunder, and she plays
And she also
Blackbird.
has thirst traps on IG.
She goes far with this character. She robbed a few drug dealers to get into the mind of Blackbird. So please welcome Thistle Williams.
Oh yeah, they definitely all wearing the
It's like
90s.
90s apparel.
How you doing?
Oh my gosh.
I'm doing okay. I can't complain.
I like your look. I like your look. What are you TLC? What's your vibe?
So, you know, I'm giving y'all a little bit of a Leah TLC.
Yes.
I can see the Leah.
I can see the Leah. Rest in peace.
Our last cast member
Seriously.
plays the title character Black Lightning. What can I say
AKA
about this
Scooter.
man? He is
Talking
so
about the
committed to
90s.
fighting.
Yeah.
He sleeps in his Black Lightning costume.
I'm
chafed. I'm chafed because I'm sleeping in that costume.
You guys ready to play this game?
Yeah, that's what my wife calls this man all the time. Like, yo, it's Scooter.
You ready?
Y'all two
Okay.
love to know
First
what it
question.
is. Just look
First
it up.
question, because we're going to go through
Call
many
Little
questions. This
Single.
is question.
Yo.
In 1991, what was Halle Berry's first movie in 1991?
I want to say,
Oh, okay.
Does anybody know?
Fever. No, Jungle Fever. No, it's Jungle Fever. Yeah, Jungle Fever.
You can't answer twice. You got it wrong.
She cheated. She cheated.
All right.
It's like, wait a minute, Jungle Fever. I'm like, you just did it twice. Why?
In 1996,
Atlanta.
where the Olympic Games played.
Is that Atlanta?
The next question. Now, this is for anybody. Who was the first woman to win the MVP for the WNBA?
This is Lisa Leslie.
Lisa Leslie?
Was it Cynthia Cooper?
Yes.
Oh damn, who said that?
I know my female basketball.
Shout out to him for that.
Okay, I'm going to throw this one to the youngsters of the bunch because this is going to be a hard one.
Okay.
Where was Will Smith's Fresh Prince character originally from?
Are you serious? Are you serious? Like, you can't even. That's the most.
This one is kind of hard for everybody. In the 90s, what was the highest grossing movie?
In the 90s? It's Titanic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
1997.
Because I was like, was it 1996? Or was it?
97.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Celine.
You know what? You know what? All these questions, we do have a winner, and the winner is Christine. Mama in the house.
Winning brains again, not just a
I keep forgetting she's British.
Give her a cyber round of applause.
I keep forgetting.
I'll clap.
Let me say this about Black Lightning. It's having a major impact all across the world. Know that your work really matters on a whole nother level, because sometimes in show business, we can just be, artists on a show, and the show is just funny, or the show is silly, or the show is goofy. It's another thing to have a show that really has real issues in it that impact people that last a lifetime. So it's entertainment, but it's also education. So bravo, bravo to the cast. Round of applause.
Thank you.
we talk about superheroes, but superheroes come in all shapes and forms.
Shout out to that man, dude. He's my hero. Not even gonna lie.
Who was the first superhero to make an impact on you? And that can be real or fiction. Like if I was to say for me, in 5th grade, there was a teacher named James Reed. And that teacher was the first one in 5th grade to believe in me and say, you can do something with your life. And I named the character in Meteor Man after him,
Jefferson.
James Reed.
Oh, wow. That's nice.
That's my real connection. So who was that first hero?
My 8th grade English teacher was a man by the name of John Earther. And one day I was misbehaving in class, and John Earther brought me over, and I had to sit next to him. He put his shoe on the chair. He was a big guy, and that was kind of his way of letting you know that if you moved around, he was going to kick your butt. Public school, he never touched anybody. He was just a very intimidating presence. And he asked the class, who knows who Prometheus was? And nobody knew who Prometheus was, but I had a love of Greek mythology when I was a kid, and I raised my hand, and he looked down and he said, all right, let me know. And I told him that Prometheus brought fire to humanity. He was the god of foresight. He was very impressed with me, that answer, and so he let me out of the dungeon, and he invited me to his summer camp where I learned about being an actor. And John Earther was the only Black teacher in my hometown. And he was my mentor, and he's the reason I became an actor.
Wow. Beautiful. Nice. Beautiful. Jordan, I'm going to go to you.
The number one has to go to my mom and pops. And I mean, Robert, you know my dad. I mean, he's your DP back over at Parenthood, and that's where I started. I mean, and that's when I first got into acting. Started off as being an extra. And I mean, just seeing my dad's work ethic and how he treated his crew as the DP, how he treated the cast. And then my mom, because when I was a child actor, there was somebody that was driving me to those cattle calls, driving me over to West LA. And you know who it was? She was also taking me to my baseball games and everything else. So that's my Wonder Woman. And yeah, so mama and pops.
My parents have been the ones to teach me everything that I really needed to know, because it's hard. It's hard growing up in this industry, and it's easy to get off track. But when you have parents that aren't hyping you up exactly, but giving you just the tools that you need from the foundation to be able to handle all of this, because it's a big responsibility, and it's, like I said, it's very difficult as a young person to get caught up in it. So they're the ones who've always been with me, and I know that they always will, and they've taught me that God is the one that gives me my opportunities. It's not from getting hired and getting this and it's from him. So that's what makes me not afraid to be able to stand up for myself and do those things. So yeah, it's all them.
Christine.
That's what's up.
Yeah, my mum, really. Single mum, teenage mum, in a country, didn't speak the language. I honestly, now I'm a parent, I don't even understand how she did that on her own. And she always told me that I could do anything. She never, ever, ever crushed my dream. She drove me to my theatre club. There was no doubt in her mind that I could be whatever I want. And I think that's such a powerful message for a child. So definitely mum, but I also do want to give a shout out to Diane Carroll. When I saw her on Dynasty at the age of 10 or 12, let's say.
Like you're old, lady.
So poised, elegant, regal, intelligent, fierce. I'd never seen that before. I'd never seen any Black actress like that before in my life. So Diane Carroll and my mum.
I love it. I love it. Marvin, I'm going to go to you, Cap.
I had a teacher in the 7th grade named Mr. Sherman, and he poured so much positivity into me in regards to my intellect, so much to where he gave me a subject that was World War II and allowed me to study that subject in such depth that he allowed me to teach a course on it.
Wow.
In 7th grade and teach my class. I was able to hold the class one day. And
students full of surprise.
Seriously.
Who I am today, you know, as an orator, why I ended up rapping, why I ended up getting on stages, why I ended up now being on television. It really gave me that power. And to look beyond the limitations that, you know, the world had set before me.
Wow.
Nafisa.
The first thing that came to my mind was my grandmother, who rest her soul. We were really, really, she wasn't just my grandmother, she was my friend. And that was really, really important for me as a kid. But she taught me to be kind and God-fearing. And that is something that has carried me throughout my life that I appreciate. So my grandmother first, right? And then I think about why I wanted to be on TV. It was Felicia Rashad on The Cosby Show. I was a really little girl, and I was watching this brown woman who looked like me, whose hair was similar to mine, who was sassy and independent, and she was strong, and she had her own career. That was like the first vision for me on TV, and I wanted to be her. I wanted to I would fantasize that I was on The Cosby Show because of her.
Press, I'm gonna go to you, man.
I had an acting mentor in college. Actually, the first one, he's always, I consider him my mentor. His name was Tom Blank. He was a kind of a surrogate father, but also a champion for me as an actor. But I always go back to Sidney Poitier because, and I didn't even realize it, you know, when you're a kid, you don't realize it. You're just watching it, and always what came through was power and dignity. Everything he stepped into on the screen is, I'm a human being. And therefore I deserve to be here.
Yeah.
Like I breathe like everyone else, so therefore I deserve to be at the table.
Robert, you know, to have someone like you on our sets, as someone who has opened those doors and has so much experience and has really been there at the forefront, yourself, Bill Duke, that to me is like, without sounding corny, like you're living heroes to us because you open those doors and you are producers, you're directors, you're writers, you're creators.
Man, y'all can get this man start crying, y'all better chill.
That we as Black creators can do everything and we should do everything and we don't need the permission of Hollywood to get things done. The audience really, when they see
he holding them tears in
when they see
hard.
Bill and some of the other great veteran actors we've had on the show, that means something. You know, you're icons.
I'm kind of curious if they're gonna bring them back with directing some of the episodes.
For everyone, but know that we also considered.
I definitely think they should.
I just want to say something. For me, high school, if I could tell, we walked around quoting.
Bro, he looks so different with his beard shaved off. Like he looks like he's in his late 30s.
Like, it was like part of our vernacular.
I mean, it looks like his character from Lemon Single. So
just continuously and watched it so many times. Oh,
let me say thank you for all that love because you know, as artists on the real tip, as artists, it's always been about raising the bar. My mentor when I first got to Hollywood is Sidney Poitier. So it's between Sidney and Harry Belafonte. So it's always about raising the bar. So when I look at what you guys are doing, you do me proud on so many levels because there is a generation of kids and adults that are learning how to navigate life better because of the life lessons that are in this series. So many people across the world need inspiration and they need hope. And I just want to ask this one simple question. Can you give me one key to success that has made you successful?
Yeah, they really
Everybody's
did
beliefs are their own, 100%.
make this their panel, for real,
What's gotten
for
me
real.
through this industry.
It's not a conventional panel at all.
Period. Point blank. Period. Because when you enter this industry,
I mean, I don't know if they
not
can
to
say much
mention
about
being
the
Black
next season,
and also a female, you can't fear this industry. You
I
can't fear
guess.
not continuing to get work or not being able to get work because
Dude, I'ma get
you're not
heat with you
willing
guys.
to
How about y'all?
compromise your
Yeah,
morals and your
man.
values. You
Shoot.
cannot be scared of that. Because if you're scared of that, trust me, you're going to end up in a place that you never wanted to be. And that part is not a part of your dream. It's not a part of it. So God has made me unafraid.
It's literally about finding your purpose and literally living in your dream. I believe that's the way to success. That is happiness.
I would just, in one word, I would just say faith. You know, have faith in the unseen, you know, and know that it's on its way.
You know, young actors ask me, you know, what do you do? How do you do this? And I've been asked that many, many times over the years. And I try to keep it real simple and the best tool and the best advice that I can offer them is to look them in the eye and tell the truth.
Amen.
Pretty much.
That's right.
Determination, not quitting, continuing, especially in the industry. Yeah, don't give up and continue.
You know, we are meant to be eternal creatures. And so if you're thinking in the realm of eternity, a lot of these things that I toss away because they're not, I'm like, okay, will that mean anything in the realm of eternity? And when you can do that, then you can toss away a lot of the distractions and things that don't really matter, that the world may want you to get caught up on and keep you off your path.
Right now we are in quarantine, and it's been months and months and months. And
Salim, it's some powerful stuff, bro.
So there's all the world.
Definitely one of my
down.
highlight panels.
Josh, go ahead and answer the
Has
question.
been
What's yours?
a really beautiful thing for me
What's
because
yours?
I've read more books.
Wait,
than
what?
I didn't have time to read.
I was
before.
saying, I ain't
I've written
answering.
a couple of
What's
things,
yours?
and I've kind of taken time
Yeah,
to
what's
kind of
yours?
like reset. You know what I mean?
Oh.
It's a beautiful time to reset. Some
Shoot,
people
wait,
are
nah,
freaking
hold
out,
on. I
you know,
gotta absorb all this first.
But I just wanted everybody to weigh in
I need to keep
on
absorbing.
the state of the world in this current
I'll come back to that.
Any thoughts that anybody has about anything?
We'll definitely talk
thing
after the
that
panel.
has happened in this last few months is I think it's focused all of us in terms of what matters, what has meaning, what's important, how do I spend my time, who do I spend my time with, what kind of time is it? And I think as a sort of as a culture and as a community and as a globe, we needed to do that.
I think the thing about this I'm realizing is that
then for whatever reason, when
these
we all
actors
stopped,
deserve
we witnessed
amazing
the
writing.
horrendous killing
Like,
of George Floyd.
I'm praying that
I
the
think
fourth
in that
season is
moment,
written
there was
well.
nowhere else for anyone.
So serious.
Anywhere to look. We all had to look. We all had to pay attention.
'Cause
So as hard as this moment is for everyone,
they
and I know it's
understand
hard
the
for everyone.
situations.
Trust me, I'm the world's most positive person, and I'm struggling right now. Despite the sort of poison that we're being exposed to, I believe that human compassion, kindness, we have that above all else. I don't ever think, people that fought, like John Lewis, who we just lost.
Oh man!
In his lifetime,
Oh,
I don't think he ever thought he would see as many white people on a civil rights march as black people. That's something's happening, something's changing, and I don't want to stop fighting, and we won't stop fighting, and I feel like something is happening to us as a society that is profoundly important, and I'm excited. I'm scared, but I'm also excited about what that could be.
I never thought that I would see something like this happen in my lifetime, honestly. I had to talk to my grandfather because my grandfather marched with Martin Luther King Jr. So the fact that he got to see this kind of again, something like this again, was very shocking for him. And it's been kind of overwhelming for me, to be honest, but I don't think that it was a coincidence that this quarantine hit, and then, you know what I'm saying? All of the Black Lives Matter, all of this stuff started happening in our community.
What is this panel turned into right now?
When the quarantine first started going down, and a week felt like
been freestyling on this the whole time, man.
Time was like it was brutal.
Goodness.
It was brutal. And then George Floyd and everything blew up, and it almost like illuminated the opportunity even more. I'm encouraged, but I don't want the work to stop. Like I don't. I feel like in the past, I feel like we're here because we did a certain amount of work and then stopped. And I want to see us push through and see that work to completion.
I've seen how there has been selfishness and I've seen selflessness. And in growing during this time, I feel like I've progressed more to the selfless in ways that you can help, or in just being educated and understanding the shoes that other people walk in. And when you see that, when you actually take the time out after you've watched everything that you can, because I mean, look at that's a blessing. The fact that we have things to keep us distracted. that we call that, we say we're so blessed, we're so great, America. I mean, like, yo, before America we thought we couldn't get touched.
Look, y'all going, y'all
I'm
are
dropping the mic.
Y'all,
that is it.
They're gonna shut this whole stream down. I need to chill.
It is slow.
Not live.
Dr.
No.
Said,
Don't talk about my
the
stream.
universe bends towards justice.
Amen.
No.
Okay, so here's a question. This is a question for everybody in the cast.
Yeah.
Why do you think people love this show so much?
Truth to
Because
power.
of the cast.
Power means
The cast.
The state of our government, even though we're in a fictitious world, I think it aligns a lot of times with the current times, and it speaks to the people who are actually living that.
First season did.
In the Black communities, you see.
Second season did too.
That's the truth of our experience, and it's done in such a way that's fantabulous, if that's even a word, and it I think it resonates not just with our community, but with every community, because it has such dignity and integrity.
And also it's a good time for a lot of people to learn about our experience.
We stay true to the moment of what's happening, that people are able to use our show as a mirror.
Yeah.
And like China said, learn from that.
This show, out of the superhero shows, it feels real.
We provide that hope, not just through superheroes saving the day, but also making difficult choices that are morally correct choices.
Let's talk about next season. Let's have a discussion about next season. And this is for everybody. Where would you want to see your characters go? Like, is there something in particular? I mean, you guys have tackled a lot of themes.
I mean, the fact that the writer isn't here, I mean, I don't know what they can say.
Anything that, you would go like, man, I want Salim to think about this. I want to think about that. Is there anything you would think about for your character?
I would really like to not be drunk.
Thank you.
Drugs.
Thank you,
my
bro.
hand down a toilet.
Like,
or slapping my
seriously, bro.
husband. Or fighting with my husband. Or, crawling along the floor.
But, can I say something to you? You are
Yes.
absolutely brilliant when you go into that other zone and you get twisted. Because, when I was on set, you broke my heart in that bedroom. When y'all were going at each other, I thought y'all were fighting for real. And you were like, no, I'm on the green stuff right now. You went into that zone. So it's amazing.
Well, she was popping them green pills, bro, losing her mind,
I think
bro.
you're showing your range on a whole nother
Thank you
frequency.
so much. No, I feel I'm so lucky that I get this great material to play. I have no complaints as an actor.
Jordan, talk
Yes,
to
sir,
me.
yes.
You've been alive. You've been dead. You've got power. Where would you like to go, man? Where would you like to go?
The change and the growth that I would love to see for Khalil is more so the psychological recovering, the mental state that he would have to go through, what that journey looks like.
Yeah.
James, I'm going to go to you. Gamby, what would you like to see Gamby? Where do you want him to go? He's an interesting guy to me because he's like this genius of genius. I mean, is there another layer that you would want the world to see in Gamby?
I'd like to see Gamby be revealed as having a meta power of his own.
That'd be dope.
Unknown. I'd like to see Gamby maybe have a girlfriend.
He's like, I want a little bit of love out here.
Gamby had a kid that he reunites with, having not seen him for 25 years or something.
Nafisa, what do you think? Where do you want to go with your character? I mean, because you got dual personalities already. What are you thinking?
So I like the idea of Salim always staying relevant and staying true to what's going on. So I definitely want to see some of what's happening in our world and some of what's happening today. I just want us to always stay on trim with that. And knowing Salim, we will.
Marvin, where do you want Tobias to go? What's in his diabolical mind, or do you want to flip the script on us?
I would like to flip the script a little bit. I'd like to get him back into politics, from outside of the underworld, back into the mainstream of society, and hopefully doing some good. Which I'm sure it'll end up being for his own narcissistic gain, and it'll be for the bad ultimately. In the end, but I would like for a time to be doing some good and freedom, and then hopefully, I know you and I got a chance to play around with love with the character, and give him a love interest and see how far he could take it. But that was short-lived. I'd like to raise the stakes with that and do something that's, you know, not more permanent, but more serious. And we can see the backstory of it develop.
But I want Marvin to have it all, or Tobias to have it all, so that when Khalil comes to take it away.
Oh my God. Anybody wants to take mine away.
I ain't forgot. I just want to put that out there.
He's like, I got my whole spine ripped out, bro.
First times that Lynn and Tobias started to work, were in scene together.
I mean, that was the first time Tobias interacted with everybody, and it wasn't volatile. Black Lightning came.
Oh, cool. Thanks, Frankie.
I was working with Lynn. Lynn knocked me out, so let me shut up with that. And then I was sent back into my asylum.
Crash, I'm gonna go to you. Where do you see Jefferson going? I mean, this man has fought the community, fought everybody, stands righteous, gets a little confused. Where do you think he could go?
Well, what I would like, honestly, is to get back to the school. I'd like to get back into the school, get back into mentoring kids.
Good point.
That's probably the thing I'm most proud of is the educational aspect of the show.
The audience has a lot of questions for you guys, and you know, so we want to open this FanDome up for them to questions. And so, do some of you guys have questions the audience has asked you to read?
I have one.
Okay, where's it from?
From Mona in Australia, actually.
Oh.
Is Jennifer going into the other dimensions again for the Crisis on Infinite Earths this season? Oh, Lord. I actually have no idea. We have no idea, just to be completely honest with you, what's in store for the next season. So I really don't know. I don't know if you're going to see the other Jennifers. I'm not sure, but I kind of hope so because it was really fun to be able to play them.
Question here from Asante in the United States. She asked, will we see Black Lightning interact with those other superheroes more often now that everyone's on the same planet? And is there a possibility of Henderson being revived? I would like to. I mean, honestly, as a nerd,
snap!
Seeing the whole
spoiler alert
superheroes, like I got chills, and it would be cool to be like Justice League out. You know, that would be
awesome. Well,
for that to happen. As far as
I tried to get,
I don't know. I was not a fan of him going. So I mean, that still sucks, to be perfectly honest.
I got a question though, Robert. I just got one from Lynn in France who asked, will we see more Jen and Khalil in the next
rant?
I don't know. I mean, she kind of left me high and dry on a roof.
You have a cot in my place, buddy. I have to answer a question from Fofo in Canada. She's asking if Grace will have her own costume made by Gambi in season 4.
Oh, please.
That one. Wow.
Oh, that'll definitely happen.
Would be fire.
That's a good one.
It would be an honor and a privilege to create a costume for Grace.
That'll definitely happen.
The creatives choose to do on the writing side of it, she sure will.
I do have a question from Karina in France, and she wants to know, will we ever see Anissa and Grace get married on the show?
They alluded to it.
Whoa, that would be beautiful.
We almost did, didn't we, Crash? We almost did.
I messed it up.
Yeah, I would like to see that happen, especially for the fans, and we'll see. You know, our love is kind of complicated. I was trying to tie the knot. Didn't happen. So we'll see. I would like to see it and see where that love could go.
I got a question from Melissa in Canada. She wants to know if Tobias Well and some more bad guys are going to try to come and take over Freeland. I hope so. I miss Cyanide a lot. I hope I can pay Gambi to give me some kind of serum to bring her back or something. I can make a deal with old Gams.
There ain't enough money in the world
to bring her back, you know, because she sure was a good partner in crime.
Bro, the way that she went out didn't make no sense.
This has been a wonderful time with all of you. I want to give a cyber round of applause to the cast of Black Lightning. And let me just say this. This has been truly a treat to be with you guys, and I see why the show is successful, but then when the audience gets to meet your spirits and see who you are as people, I think it elevates the show to an even higher level.
I agree.
So Thank you so much for participating today. And to everybody out there, please continue to support and watch DC FanDome. Signing off. Round of applause.
That was actually dope. That was actually really good.
Agreed.
I'm actually really surprised how good that actually really was. Yeah, I could tell that they really let them do their own thing for that one. Now, what was the question you were asking me?
So they were saying, remember they were getting like super deep, and they were talking about like, you know, what has been the one like philosophy, or I guess the word that has kind of been your mantra or allow you to be, you know, great at what you do. So, I mean, I was going to ask it to each of you guys, because I mean, we all do, you know, similar things with, you know, podcasting and all this other stuff. Where I guess you weren't expecting that. Get really deep.
Yeah, I think I was still trying to absorb everything that was going on in the panel in general. But from a motivational standpoint, for me, I mean, I do go back to my faith personally. Like, I always go with the mantra that my life is not my own. Like, it's taking the perspective that, you know, nothing is promised. Tomorrow's not promised. So it's like, what are you here to do?
And we learned that time and time again with everything that's been going on lately, with a lot of unfortunate, you know, occurrences that have been happening with, you know, people, us losing, you know, a lot of people. So, yeah, I got you.
And so from that perspective, creatively, it's like, you know, all the different things that I do. Yeah, like, you know, reacting is fun. To watch stuff and, you know, chat about it, but also I see it as a good little buffer for people to be like, oh wow, they're experiencing it with me, like they're getting something from it, like they're getting insight from my perspective on it from a review standpoint. Like if I'm creating something, I want them to be able to feel something either uplifting or emotive. Like there's always like a conditional reason. So it's like, okay, if, you know, God's put me on this earth and given me giftings in certain things, like how can I best be able to serve? And so creatively, even with these conditions now, doing this with like doing the FanDome and hosting and stuff like that, I mean, it's tiring. Do I enjoy it? Yeah, but I think it's like also symbiotic to do it together and like to put people in a place where we're all collectively working together and kind of like distracting ourselves from the craziness that we're always dealing with. And so I think that's something that really helps elevate and motivate me to continue to do it, looking at it from a different perspective. So yeah, it's a good question. It's a good question. I was just, it was messing me up what they were saying. But you can ask Chris now. Chris go.
What? No, remember I was asking you guys about like that deep question that they were talking about like in the panel about like the mantra or the word that like motivates you or has kind of like, you know, guided you.
I don't even know if there's a mantra per se. I mean, I guess no excuses, I guess. I don't know. I mean, that's at least that's how I follow it when it comes to like podcasting and just anything that I'm doing, you know, because, you know, people make excuses for why they can't do certain things. And it's like some things is understandable, you know, obviously life stuff happens and stuff. I know Sam, you know, him having a family and having his kid, I know that interfered in a lot of his stuff when he was podcasting and stuff, you know, but somehow he managed to make that whole thing happen, God willing. You know, I don't know how he did it. I was just like, how in the world is JVS not on hiatus? But he somehow, baby was born, was still putting out content. And I was like,
a lot of the upon electricity in the air right now. We know that the CW is about to debut.
Just to give you guys context on YouTube side, we were there, all of us.
Here.
That was at this crazy, insane situation. That was the I didn't get no signatures because we were doing interviews, but
I remember the first time Black Lightning comic book came out and seeing
this was the debut of the pilot. I think they did the first 2 episodes, right, Chris?
Nah, just the pilot.
I see the ads on TV for Black Lightning.
Yeah, it was just the pilot and stuff. It was actually pretty dope though.
It's a dream come true.
Yeah,
that
after party.
Brothers, I said that I wanted.
I think I nerded out.
Black man into television.
Like I didn't show it, but I nerded out. I was like, I can't believe these many celebrities just chill.
Side note, Sam managed to sneak me in as press for that thing. He was like, dude, just contact blah blah blah. I was like, all right, I got it. I was like, oh yeah, we put you in. I was like, all right, cool.
The Black Superhero is our show.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I was like, how the hell did Sam get it? I was like, all right, let me go ahead and contact this lady.
We then look around and realize that everybody's represented.
Yeah, nah, dude. Vince Chili Bowl.
Ball number 2.
So crazy. I wonder if this is on the season 1 behind the scenes.
What we want television to be.
It's time. It's necessary. It's needed.
It's a dream come true. It's a dream beyond a dream.
TV and movies, they should represent what the world looks like. And to be a part of it, I'm just like,
That was so weird that we were there. So it must be. I have to go back through my season 1 DVD. It's got to be up there then. But all right. So what are we gonna watch next, you guys? Let me go back. So I know they had something for the magic of VFX making Supergirl and Shazam fly. Let's go back. Uverse.
And while you figuring that out, Sam, I guess I'll say mine because I realize I'm asking you guys, but I didn't even say mine. I guess, and thinking about that because it actually made me think about it too, is just the idea of stick-to-itiveness. Just I think they were talking about it like even I think it was one of the answers, so it's kind of off the lines of that, but. Anything you do in the entertainment industry, whether it's in podcasting, on the journalism side, on the acting side, any facet of the industry, there are a lot of times when, you're going to be told that you're not able to do something or, there's someone else that can do it better. And I guess just having the idea of knowing what you're capable of and having stick-to-itiveness of having that incentive and that initiative to go after it. That's been helpful, for me. And then kind of also going off of, I forgot who said it, but just to paraphrase that idea of like kind of ignoring the noise and the things that are not necessarily, important or superfluous, but just honing in on those things that, have meaning for you and being able to allow that to guide you.
No, that's real. I think it's actually really important. Okay, so we got some options here, you guys. I know I already went through the Young Justice panel already. That Harley Quinn one was hilarious. Where was it?
Oh yeah, I did see that one.
So the Batman Death in the Family panel is right here. That's one vote that I got. Does anybody else have one that they want to check out? It can be comics or whatever while we still got time.
Yeah, I'm looking right now real quick because I realized that I had added it to my itinerary.
Go back. I didn't even think about looking at my schedule. I actually haven't even gone through my schedule at all. I've actually just been picking them out as they go. Let's see, I don't think I looked at the Stargirl one. Yep, so Stargirl is another option. DC's Watchmen panel. That's another one. Oh, wait, who did we lose? Oh, it's Brandon? Yeah, there he goes. Oh, yeah. that whole Flash panel of the Q&A, they mentioned some really weird stuff. They basically said that there's going to be multiple DC characters in that movie. And Andy Buscetti's wife, Barbara, was like, this is going to reset everything, basically. I don't know if she was supposed to say that, but she said it. Scrub. All right. Anybody got anything? Wait, CJ, you still there? Oh man, what happened to y'all? All right, let me check and make sure you guys on YouTube land are still there. Everybody still there? Okay, looks like y'all still there. I don't know what's going on. All right, I'm gonna start the Death in the Family. I think, man, it's 30 minutes. Daggone. John DiMaggio. I guess it's worth watching. It's either gonna be that or, let me see, how long is this? This is 25 minutes. In-depth discussion on DC's upcoming Rorschach book with writer Tom King, artist, moderated by Damon. Okay. Okay. I'll do the Batman one. I'm interested in the Smallville. Let's see, is there anything else? Did we already watch this already? Flash questions. What's the difference in this and this though? Is this the same, you guys? Let me check this really quick. I think it's gotta be the same thing. Huh. Cast answers questions. See, I don't see any difference in that one and this other one. Let me check this one really quick. This looks like the same exact thing. Fan Q&A. Oh no, it's different, I guess. So let me pull that up really quick. I thought it was the same thing. It looks like the same thing.
Here's a question by Luke Anthony about the tone of the movie.
Here we go.
My Flash is not going to be light or dark in tone. It's going to have everything. If you saw my previous movies like It and It Too, you'll notice that I like to put everything in it. So what you will see in Flash is a very, deep emotional story, but it's also going to be very funny, and hopefully, and a great epic adventure at the same time, and also terrifying for sometimes. So that's my answer. Get ready.
I find it hard to believe if they're not going to put
Dylan Hernandez.
They're not going to put the wrist flash in there.
Asks, how's the new Flash suit looking? And my honest answer, Dylan, is that I have yet to see it. But I've heard some things about it, and they're extremely exciting. There will be some twists. In some ways, I believe it will be a more traditional comic-based costume, but in other ways, I think that it might be somewhat unconventional. I've heard that it'll potentially be lighter weight than my last suit, as an example of some of the changes.
Hopefully it's not going to be a CGI suit. That's all I can hope for. Please don't be a CGI suit. All right, cool. All right, so I got what I needed. Let's go ahead and start up the Death in the Family now. think I got the link. There it goes. Oh, snap. This content may not be appropriate for all audience. Contains violent content.
So
Oh, God.
what is this?
Oh, this is the Death in the Family
We save
showcase.
lives every day.
It's like the alternative version for the Red Hood.
Enough time.
Yeah, that's
Except
I mean, I get it, but
Welcome
the way
to
it goes,
DC
I guess.
FanDome. My
Oh,
name is
God.
I get it,
Navarro
but
from
I don't know.
DC.
It was just, I saw it and I was like, it didn't really interest me that much, you know. But
Channel. We're going to chat about the
I find it weird
first
because
interactive short from Warner Brothers
is
Animation,
it
DC, and Warner Brothers
like
Home
actually
Entertainment.
brand
In
new, or
addition
they
to the
just
incredibly
recycle
unique
footage
Death
from
in
the
the
Red
Family
Hood
short? The 2019
and
to
just add
2020
stuff to it?
anthology includes the previously released Sergeant Rock, Adam Strange, Death, which is my personal favorite,
unless
and
they're
The Phantom
unless
Stranger.
they're
They're awesome. It's just a
animated
great
it,
collection.
you know, that's
DC
alternative
Showcase
stuff.
Death in the Family is going to be available on Blu-ray combo pack and digital starting October 13th. So put it in your calendars.
I might have to request for that.
Burn in hell, Two-Face. Red Robin awaits a verdict. Life or death.
you got Red Robin, all these other things, and I'm like, so Red Robin is who again?
So, like,
Please allow
if Jason
me
Todd
to introduce this
didn't
amazing
die,
panel.
then
First up,
I guess
we
they're
have
saying
got
he would turn into
Vincent
Red Robin,
Martella, the voice
which
of
is weird.
Jason Todd, best known for his long-running roles on the live-action Everybody Hates Chris, and the voice of Phineas in the popular Disney Channel animated series Phineas and Ferb.
But I thought
I've heard
that
of it. It's
Jensen
pretty popular.
Ackles was
reprising his role
the
as
Red
young
Hood.
Jason Todd from
So I
Batman
don't-
Under the Red Hood.
Maybe-
Hi, Vincent. Thank you so much for
I
being
don't know.
here.
Maybe it's the younger version of Jason
thanks for having
Todd.
me, Hector. This
That's
is
the
really,
reason
really cool.
why
I
it's
really
him.
cannot wait for everyone to see this. I'm very happy I got to be a part of this.
I am stoked. I also cannot wait for people to see it. We also have the man himself, Mr. John DiMaggio, the voice of the Joker, one of the most prolific voiceover artists today. John is beloved for his performances
I love
as
that dude,
Bender in
man.
Futurama, Dr. Draken in Kim Possible, Jake in Adventure Time, hundreds of others, literally hundreds of others. John brought a new, delicious take on the Joker for Batman Under the Red Hood, and he's here with us
I've
today.
never quite heard it been described as delicious, but boy, that's kind of accurate, man.
It is.
There's a lot to chew on there. You can gnaw on that bone.
In a messed up way, it's very
He did
delicious.
a
And
good
then we
job
also
with
have
that Joker,
producer,
actually.
director, and writer Brandon Vietti. Brandon's directing credits include Batman Under the Red Hood, Superman Doomsday, a pair of treasured
Oh, they did a
Scooby-Doo
really good
WWE
presentation with
crossover
him
animated
for
films, executive
Legion of
producer for a half
Superheroes.
dozen Lego DC films, and he is the co-creator and
It
co-executive
was
producer
actually a
of
really
the
good panel.
extremely
I would
popular Young
recommend you
Justice
guys.
animated series, and it is one of my favorites. Brandon, thanks for being here.
Oh, happy to be here.
Okay, let's just get into this because I want the fans watching to kind of wrap their heads around what this is. Brandon, what was the genesis of creating a short with interactive storytelling, and why did you specifically choose Batman Death in the Family?
Wow. I'll rewind the story a little bit. I wish I could take all of the credit for it, but I can't. I mean, the very nice people at Warner Home Video, I think, reached out to animation and my boss. But at some point, they all decided that it was time to try an interactive story. And I've heard it was Bruce Timm who said, well, one of the most famous interactive audience choice moments in DC Comics history was around the death of Robin.
Yep.
The Death in the Family story. So
They did do that.
That's where it kind of
I forgot about
started,
that.
and that's where they looped me in.
They gave everybody the
And,
option of what
I
happens to
expressed some
Jason
interest
Todd.
in this. I love interesting story structures, and branched storytelling was something I was really excited to kind of get into. But ultimately, and most importantly, bring to our audiences that same experience that comic book readers had back when they got to call a 1-900 number and vote whether Jason Todd would live or die.
I heard about that.
Incredible moment in comics history. So now we get to kind of recreate that on a Blu-ray disc and add new choices. So it doesn't stop there. You get to make that same choice that comic readers got to make, plus more.
Wonder how much money they made on that 1-900 number. That must have been. That's an interesting side note. Just thought I forgot about that.
That's right. And I think the comic book history was like Jason Todd died from like a difference of like 60 votes or something, like less
All
than
right, take care,
100
Salim. Have a
votes
good one,
made the
bro.
difference
Thanks for
between
showing
this
up.
character
Thanks for
living
love.
and dying. So it is like Brandon said, a huge watershed moment for comic book and DC history. And I'm so stoked because I know I've told this to John before, but the film Batman Under the Red Hood is one of my favorite Batman anythings of all time. And I am so stoked. I get to tell Brandon, I get to tell Vincent, like, I love it so much. And I'm so excited that it's being revisited and expanded in this way. Brandon, can you give us an idea of the length of time involved in playing out these stories? I mean, you're talking about the different branches it goes into. How short is the shortest segment? How long is the longest segment? What's the approximate time it would take to play out every possible version, which I'm sure fans watching right now are like, I'm already planning on doing that.
There's a big variety of different branches and different lengths. There's one big branch that's 20 minutes. There's several others that are about 7 minutes long. There's one that's just like 30 seconds. So, there's a climactic conclusion behind that. It's very impactful. But
that sounds like it's going to be depressing.
Sounds like a quick exit. Yeah.
So there's a variety of different lengths. But, it's nice to have it's not like it won't play like a video game. Where it's like, choices that are very quick and follow each other, make a choice, and then you get to watch a story. You get to see how your decision played out and kind of have, a nice little bit of story before you have to.
You guys think that this is going to work, or is this going to be a cheap fail?
I love it. All right. This next question, we got to get into the performances for this project.
You
were the original voice of young Jason Todd. Now you're adding to that with the voicing of a different
executed well, it can just seem like a gimmick.
Can you kind of compare these recording experiences?
Only
It's so crazy to me that it's been 2 years since you guys worked on. I mean, that already is mind blowing. But what is the comparison between working on it then and working on it now?
I don't even know how they're going to do distribution for it, because this will be one of those ones that will be a good tool for the DC Universe
with Jason Todd,
but
as Brandon was saying,
not everything's going to HBO Max. Like, only way people be able to do this is digital or purchase.
Brand really helped me with, and
it's
Wes
like,
really helped me with when we were.
You don't want another Harley Quinn,
because there were certain things.
Batman and Harley Quinn movie situation,
and certain nuances to play with the character.
I don't know. I'm a little worried about this.
Getting to revisit
But
this
I'm
character.
saying
I think people are gonna like the places that Jason Todd goes in this. It's very, very exciting and unexpected in a lot of ways.
And people want
Absolutely, yeah. I'm a huge DC and comic book fan, and I was shocked at some of the places this story. I was like, "What? That's insane!"
I'd seen some of it before when the first time I watched it, and I was still shocked. I was like, "Oh, awesome! All right, let's go. This is gonna be great."
It's so cool. It's so cool. John DiMaggio talked about the Joker.
Sound bad,
he talked
YouTube
about
people.
what a blast it was for you to do that
every
role.
single one of those scenarios.
I have got a fan question for you, sir. This fan
especially
question
if
from
this is
Elizabeth
that short, it's
from
gonna be
the
like a
US.
full length. Like, they're just gonna be in
you were
different
great
clips.
in Batman Under the Red
All
Hood.
on
I've
YouTube.
even heard Mark Hamill compliment your performance as the Joker. What was it like for you to? He did. It's
that he did.
Yeah,
John, I'm telling you, I love your Joker. It's great.
That's a great mark. Elizabeth goes on to ask, what was it like for you to take on such an iconic role, especially knowing some of the acting greats who have achieved such notoriety before you? What was that like?
That was it's a big role, but the thing is that we as actors get to do is, there's not just one Macbeth. You know what I mean? Like, it's a role that people get to play, and this is a role that people get to play. And I've seen so many, great, wonderful actors get to play this role, and just to be in the same breath as them is a big honor.
Was there a certain point, a certain moment where you and everybody realized, like, okay, this is going to work?
Yep.
Like, John DiMaggio doing the Joker, this is going to work. Was it
that might be a question for Brandon?
Okay.
I mean,
No, very early on. I mean, I think we knew that we had really gotten into new territory. I think, we had a great character design as well. I feel like, there's a lot of different Joker designs out there.
Yeah.
Many of them kind of favor a sort of thinner build, a wiry Joker. And
he was this was a Joker that looked like he spent time in prison.
Wow. Back to Brandon with this fan question. This is a great question. Hal from the United States, I wonder if he's got a Green Lantern ring. He asks, What was the degree of difficulty in bringing this project to fruition?
Really weird.
And what didn't you know going into this project that you have since learned now?
Well, there was a lot of difficulty, I think, going back into an old movie and, trying to take some elements from that, but then reuse them, explore them in a different way. That was very difficult. Also, following in the footsteps of Judd Winnick, I have to get his name out there. I mean, he wrote Under the Red Hood, such a great story. And in, stepping back into this world that he helped define and these characters he helped define when he wrote our Under the Red Hood movie and the comic story, I had to do a lot of research to kind of sink back into that world that he helped create and, really try and do right by the characters that he wrote and find those voices again, and make those characters believable. So as we branch out from the world that, he helped create, that, it all felt real to all of our fans. Because I know there are a lot of fans of the Under the Red Hood movie. And so I did my best to try to do right by Judd and by the fans. That was a very difficult aspect.
You know what you essentially did was, if you've seen like Love, the Beatles' Love in Las Vegas, and how all that music is all original tracks, just redone and created into this new sort of story. You just did that with Batman and the Joker and Red Hood and Robin and.
Well, this is really exciting. We do not want to spoil the many stories within this short, but we would like to give you a taste. So we're going to take a look at the cool graphics of the opening title sequence. Check this out.
The flip. Oh Lord, y'all! I don't feel like YouTube shutting us down. So,
wow, YouTube really just like, nope, we're not gonna let you say nothing.
Bro, YouTube is relentless.
Like Facebook doesn't care, but like YouTube is definitely on that BS.
Yeah. Here's the link, you guys. Yeah, I'm just gonna mute that. And then skip over it and come back. There we go. Wow, this is a long panel. Good Lord. All right, that should be good enough. Couldn't you send the message out on Facebook?
We're back. Brandon, question for you. With all of the story branching, will we see characters not originally included in Batman Under the Red Hood?
Absolutely. Yeah. And you'll see some that were in the original Under the Red Hood movie, but just didn't have a big role. One of the characters I was pretty excited about bringing in was Talia Al Ghul.
Oh, snap.
Wanted to give her a little more importance in the story. Also, we brought in Two-Face, who actually does have a pretty important role in Jason Todd's backstory.
Are you allowed to say who plays Two-Face?
I don't know. Can we? Are we making some big announcements here? Am I dropping some big announcements? We got Gary Cole playing Two-Face for us, and he did a really amazing job.
Nice. He's a vet.
While we're on that topic, who voiced Talia?
Zara Fuzzle.
Amazing.
Yeah, the great Zara Fuzzle does a lot of voices for us in Young Justice, and love working with her. An amazing talent.
I would love to kind of get from everybody, including some of this amazing cast as well. I mean, we got to discuss that contribution that the rest of the cast gives to this project. Bruce Greenwood reprising his role as Batman. He's one of my. He's just so good.
When and why
the
we
new additions that Brandon just mentioned. I would love to hear from everybody.
Why did we interview
about their contributions to this
CJ?
project.
Was it for this?
Brandon was saying,
Greenwood?
How
it was for
another Batman movie.
Pieces of In Ways and Under the Red Hood. It's really great, and I do love
Gotham on Gaslight. Was that it?
It might have been. It might have been that one.
Very Cool's great. When I
can't remember.
Got to watch the finished product, I was just really happy seeing all the art of all these characters and actually getting to watch them all come to life. There's some frames of this movie that look so good. I think it turned out really cool.
Yeah. John, tell us about what it's like to be the Joker playing opposite Bruce Greenwood's Batman, who's phenomenal.
Listen, it's great. You know when you have to record alone that it's gonna set sail anyway. Like you don't have to worry about, because he's great. He's just phenomenal. He's his delivery is pure Batman. We're lucky that we have these wonderful actors that get to play Batman. There's a bunch of them that are just absolutely fantastic, and I love all of them. Like, you know, even Dietrich Bader from Bad. I used to do that to him because I was Aquaman, but that was awesome. I mean, you know, that was a blast. I almost got Batman. That was the closest I've come to Batman.
That's right.
But
John, your Aquaman was not awesome or a blast. What was your Aquaman?
Outrageous, yes. Ahoy, matey. But like, I used to do that to him in recording sessions, and he would just be like, "John, I'm gonna lose this job. Please don't do that. You make me nervous." But like, but listen, the Bruce is he's wonderful. He's a rock. You know, his performance is a rock in this. It's solid. And it's just right on point. And for, I mean, just to revisit it is just a blast. He's so good as Batman.
Really solid.
I'm a big fan.
Big
solid. Fan. Kevin Conroy, big shout out to Kevin Conroy.
I mean,
but all you know, but you know that. Listen, when you get to you know, you got to be somebody, I guess, to get these parts. I guess I'm somebody. 2020 dumpster fire.
Oh my gosh. So again, I don't want to give away too much. But Vincent, your Jason Todd character goes to some places, and I'm about to set up a clip because he may undergo some transformations. I want everybody to take a look at this transformation that Jason Todd goes through to become Hush. Take a look.
What the fuck?
They see me as a victim, a failure, a thing that could happen to them. And they're right. The truth hurts more than the 27 shattered bones Joker gave me. But what I see is that they're the victims. Victims of Bruce Wayne. Dick, adopted codependent of his mommy-daddy issues. Barbara, crippled by a maniac of his creation. What kind of damaged individual mentors a child into the line of fire to begin with?
Oh, Lord.
The butler did it. I was doing fine before Bruce brought me into his family. I was alone before this family. I was alive before I let this insanely messed up family lead me to slaughter.
Okay, so that's out of the bag.
Is this
We've got
crazy?
some big comic book stuff happening. I would love to kind of go back out to sort of the bigger picture here. So question for everybody. I'd love to get everybody's take on this.
Talk about this
what
after.
Specific themes did you guys want to explore and why?
How does that work?
Did any surprises come up as to how these
In
things
terms
sort
of
of
the
played out? And
mythology of
again,
Batman.
to the cast, the voice actors, did you guys have any internal feelings or reactions to these themes?
Well, I mean, I'll speak to some of the story stuff. I mean, to me, like one of the things that I loved about Judd's story and Under the Red Hood, and also I think it's something that's evolved in Batman stories in general over the years, the themes of fatherhood and themes of family. Obviously, with Batman sort of getting so many Bat kids around him, with Robin, with Nightwing, with Batgirl, you name it, the list has really gone on and on over the years. There's family there. There are themes of family. And with the Under the Red Hood story, I think that really strikes home in such heartfelt and tragic way that, that's really the core of this story too. And a lot of these explorations in these different branches and this particular story that I really wanted to, make every branch have that theme of family and fatherhood at the core of it. So that was a sort of a guiding light for me.
It's interesting how revenge plays in this all through this story and these stories.
I'm slightly worried about this now.
It's compelling.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I definitely took a lot of obviously there's a lot of revenge in different ways and what that means to these different characters and what redemption means or what it could mean for a lot of these characters.
Yeah.
And that's something that I was focusing on in different storylines, as well as just the things that you experience as a young adult, what, how that shapes you to live in the world that you now live in.
Everything everybody said is rooted in heart. And another thing about this project to me is that it really struck me as horror material, really. And again, I'm kind of looking at my source material with Judd, but there's some really horrific things that take place. I mean, as you pointed out earlier, we open with a kid getting beaten by, with a crowbar. And then it gets worse from there. And so, I mean, you'll see in this project, I really leaned into it, and I was trying to make a bit of a horror movie. It's not really superhero material.
This next clip features a character we mentioned before, Two-Face. Check this out.
She has.
You're fresh out of guys, freak face.
Okay, now I'm so
Your
lost.
turn.
I don't know what's
Are
going
you
on.
making this personal, or are you just getting your rocks off?
Like, why would a Red Robin? Dang. Oh shoot! Look. Yeah, he might have been. He would have died from that.
Oh no! Johnny,
what is he saying?
They're gonna come for me. They're gonna come for me. Yes. Okay, so this next question is for our actors. This is a fan question for John and Vincent. Adriana from France asks, we hear actors doing these voices in our native language. Can you please give us a sample of you voicing these characters?
In French?
No, I think Adriana would love to hear you guys give us a little sampling of the characters, Jason Todd and Joker.
Oh, Vincent, would you like to go first?
So this actually goes back to Red Hood, where I'm arguing with Batman about he was a drug dealing pimp. I didn't realize I had to put a pillow out for him, and I always love that line.
It's a great line. Do you have like a phrase or something that would get you into his voice?
Yeah, and obviously stuff from Under the Red Hood was what helped pull me back into that, and that was something that Brandon and Wes Gleason had me listen to a lot of and kind of go over, which was a lot of my really angry Robin fight scenes, and it was just a lot of really angry, angsty, teenage violence coming out. So a lot of that.
Great. John, let's hear a little bit of Joker, and then again, that follow-up, if you've got any whatever it was that gets you into Joker.
It's funny because it was more organic the first time I did it. It was from the inside out. I'm going to need some guys. Not these guys, because they're all dead. Like that sort of thing. Like, the Joker cackle was more of a, that scared me when I was doing it, because it was just
Yo.
It's still so disturbing. It's so disturbing. It's great.
Okay.
It is. And I got to tell you, he always finds deeper and deeper ways to go into those lines. I got to tell you, I was so fortunate to get to watch him perform that.
Question for you, Brandon. Again, I'm a big DC fan. I'd imagine there are some Easter eggs that fans like me might want to look for. Can you tease us with any particular nuggets?
I tried to really load it with Easter eggs. That's kind of the fun of going into these different branches and exploring like alternate future histories for these characters. But in one of the clips that we showed, it takes place at a mall, and you'll probably have noticed in the background an arcade. It's Judd's arcade for Judd winning. And I think in that same clip we saw a giant phone fall on Jason Todd, and of course, giant props are sometimes a staple, not in comics, but especially in Batman stuff. The Adam West Batman show had lots of big props falling on people, and of course, I had to have a giant phone fall on Jason. Jason had to be taken out by a phone fall, of course. So,
That's funny.
there's tons of like little things like that loaded in there.
Without giving away any true spoilers, do you have a favorite scene or branch and why?
I think my favorite branch is one day Jason Todd walks into a diner. And that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah,
that's
I
my
like
favorite
that
thing.
one.
Yeah,
That's a good
what I was thinking.
That's a good one. I like that one.
I think my favorite frame of the entire film comes in the scene that you're talking about, Brandon. So I think I got to go with Jason Todd walks into a diner.
Okay. John, do you have a favorite moment, a favorite
Jason
scene?
Todd walks into a diner.
Got it. Okay, next question.
I got it. Because there's so much to get, like, for Easter eggs. Did you guys have a 2-hour meeting? Like, okay, which Easter eggs are we going to put in here and here and here and here?
They just came through my writing process. I mean, I've been very lucky to be at Warner Brothers for a very long time. I think I've been working there for 16 years consecutively now, and I've done a ton of different Batman projects. And every time I feel lucky to get to do it again. It's never like, oh, Batman again. It's never that.
Right.
I love Batman.
That's awesome. That's great. Here's my last question for everybody here from me, because I'm dying to know this. I'm going to give you a magical scenario. You have a time machine. You travel back to the 1980s. You're walking around. You see that there's a comic book. In the back, it has an ad. You can call this phone number. Either Jason Todd lives or Jason Todd dies. Which number are you going to call? Vincent, I got to start with you.
I think I'm voting to keep him alive, because then I get to experience the character more, and I get to keep doing these fun films. So I'm going to keep him alive.
It makes sense. I mean, you voiced Jason Todd. It makes sense that you would vote for definitely keeping him alive.
I'm not remotely biased, but
yeah. And I'm not trying to say that John is about to be biased. John, great answer.
You know what? No, you know what? I let him live.
Wow.
I let him live. Yeah, why not? I let him live.
The most compassionate Joker, the most compassionate actor to ever play the Joker. That's right. Brandon, I'd love to know your take, man. If you were there, if you had an opportunity to make one of those calls, what would you call?
I think it would have been to let him live. And I tell you, I'm not even sure that that's the compassionate choice.
Oh, considering what he goes through.
How tragic was that moment where he got beat with a crowbar and then blown up in a warehouse? How do you recover from that? Like, that is a really compelling and interesting character turn and an interesting character story.
Yeah.
And, Judd Winnick got to pick that up and play that out. This plays out in a different way. This explores that same sort of idea, but again, in a new and several new and different ways.
So you all three just convinced me that all the folks who voted for the character from comic books, Jason Todd, to die in the 1980s, they were doing it out of compassion. And really, the more cruel choice would have been to let this character live and have to suffer with that trauma. You guys convinced me.
Suffering a burn ward, for crying out loud.
I know.
It's I mean, you see that in this film of the possibilities of there are consequences to him living through that. So
absolutely. Guys, well, this was a blast, and I am so honored to be able to tell everybody watching right now that also included on this DC Showcase 2019 through 2020 anthology are the animated shorts, Sergeant Rock, which is awesome, Adam Strange, which is awesome, Death, which is awesome, and my favorite, and The Phantom Stranger, which is awesome. They're all such great short stories, and this interactive short stands tall amongst them. And from what I've seen, the interactive component is not a gimmick. These guys have convinced me. I hope they've convinced you. It is an essential part of the storytelling, and I'm so stoked for people to be able to get to see it. Digital distribution of Batman Death in the Family does not offer the interactive capability. Instead, it's a presentation of the stories in 4 pre-assembled linear versions, along with the other 4 animated shorts. Also of note, the interactive Blu-ray offers approximately 5 minutes of additional content within the Batman Death in the Family story that is not included in the digital version. The Blu-ray and digital releases also includes audio commentaries of the previously released shorts and one of the linear Death in the Family shorts by DC Daily host Amy Dallin and Hector.
What's up,
Navarro.
Jedi Mike?
That's me. I'm on there. So that's pretty cool. I got to do my first ever commentary track. I made the cut. All right. So, guys, thank you so much again. From the bottom of my Batman loving heart, this has been an absolute honor. Vincent, John, Brandon, you guys are awesome. I cannot wait for people to see this. Thank you to the audience watching and joining us, DC FanDome. And a reminder, guys, DC Showcase Death in the Family is going to be available on Blu-ray Combo Pack and digital starting October 13th. So don't miss it. Thank you again, guys. This is so great.
Okay. I don't think they're going to release it in 4K, bro. I don't know who asked that question. So, okay. Before we go to the next one, what did you guys think about that? Because I got some strong feelings about it. I'm just curious, what do y'all think?
Well, like I said, I'm still fascinated to check out the film, but again, it seems a little gimmicky. So like I said, it can go either way. It could be really bad, or it could actually be somewhat decent.
Yeah, Chris, what you think?
Tough one. I don't know.
Be honest. Just be honest, Chris. Say it.
This is just strictly Death in the Family, right?
Yeah.
All right. I'm intrigued, but I don't know if it's gonna be worth it for me to buy it. I do realize that if people try to bootleg it, it's not going to be the same experience, because you already know if you bootleg it, you're not going to be able to make any decisions or anything. Yeah. So they're definitely trying to push it to make people actually go out and buy it, which that's going to be interesting how that works and stuff. I mean, the choose your own adventure thing, I mean, we had it in like Dragon's Lair and things like that, but like I don't know if this is something that I want to watch. Like I could watch Under the Red Hood multiple times, but this is like I don't know if I want to watch this multiple times and stuff, because it's no consistent like thorough line story and stuff. I mean, right now I'm more interested in this new DC world that they did after the Superman movie that just dropped. So I'm like, all right, cool, Batman, but I don't care, because I just want to see what this new animation for this new DC world is and stuff. So
yeah, the DC Rebirth, whatever Rebirth concept is going to be for the animation, I'm really excited about that too. I feel the same way as you guys. I think conceptually, I'm intrigued, but I'm getting all these red flags. Like this isn't it. Like the fact that the last thing that he says that even if you buy the digital version, you can't make choices, but you have to buy the Blu-ray, not the 4K, but the Blu-ray, in order to make choices like that. And now, I mean, again, I was one of those ones that love like Knights of the Old Republic. I love choosing, things that put you in a certain kind of way, where your character goes one way or another, like Infamous or something like that. But when it comes to something like this, like, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like there's something there that is worth watching, but I don't feel like it's going to be merited to pay for it. And the other thing that's weird is that the actor that plays the role of Jason Todd, like he plays the role for the younger version of Jason Todd, because Jason Ackles plays the older 8 years later Jason Todd. So it's like, out of all those scenarios, we're only going to get like a younger version of Jason Todd every single time. It's like, I don't know that I care enough to see where that's going to go. I've heard some really great things about the short, but I don't know. I feel like this panel didn't convince me to want it or that I should buy it. It actually gave me a lot more red flags that this is what I'm thinking it is. This is a red flag. Because if the digital version, if I purchase the digital version, I can't sit there and just interactively watch it. That doesn't make sense. Why do I have to buy the Blu-ray to do that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's me. I'm a Batman fan. Y'all see the Batman stuff in the background? I love
this, to be honest with you, this should have been like an HBO Max kind of thing instead of a DVD release. That's just me.
I agree.
Because at least then you have some. Because at this point, if your whole focus is this new DC Rebirth thing, going back to your old movie from back during granted, Under the Red Hood was not in that new DC thing that they were doing with those movies and stuff. It was like a separate story, just like Batman, Gotham by Gaslight and things like that. But I'm not gonna say it's gonna confuse people, but it's kind of like you're going back to the well again, and it's like, fine, cool, I guess, but this could have been an HBO Max series, and you would have actually gotten a lot more mileage out of it on that.
Yeah, I feel like they were like, we are in a pandemic. This is something we've already got like the frameworks to make it happen. So let's just do it. But they have some stuff down the pipeline. Like they've got like the Long Halloween that's going to be coming out in 2 different parts. That's going to be freaking epic. Whatever way they're going to shape this, Rebirth is going to be pretty dope. It's just this is one of those ones that I'm kind of like really apprehensive about. And I've always, from the beginning, I actually felt that way. But yeah, this kind of just didn't convince me, unfortunately.
I will say this though. I found out that Pennyworth is getting the 2nd season, and I heard the first season was not that bad, but like the fact that they was like, oh, the 2nd season is going to introduce Baby Batman, I'm like, okay, man, I guess.
Yeah, and there was something weird about that he's already in her, and they're not even married yet, or something like that.
Which I'm like, okay, that's fine. They hooked up before they got married. That's cool, but
this is random.
Your whole purpose of Pennyworth was to show him before he became the butler. Like now,
why are you getting to Batman so fast?
Yeah, it's like Gotham again. Like that was the reason.
All those villains.
I mean, I tapped out at Gotham because it's like I understand they wanted to do something new and bold, but it just got to the point to where it's like, oh, the final episode he becomes Batman. I'm like, this kind of smacks of what Gotham was supposed to be, and it's like it feels like they're leaning too heavy on we gotta put Batman in there, and it's like, no, you're clearly telling a good story in your first season, so you don't need Bruce.
Yeah.
So I mean, whatever, that's their show, they can do whatever and stuff, but that's just me on that one. So I
look, I don't think you ain't saying nothing wrong. I'm more
like I said,
I
don't want to yuck anybody's yum if they, like I said, look, I probably will watch Pennyworth just to check it out and see how the first season is and stuff, but like I'm already invested in Matt Reeves' Batman and knowing that it's based off of Batman Earth 1. So
exactly, like you have a whole HBO series that's going to be based on his world. Like they're going to have a GCPD that, why do you need to see Pennyworth when you can watch that? You know what I mean?
Pennyworth was fine if you were going to do it for like 3-4 seasons and stuff and it ended there. But like the fact that they had to say that they're putting, infant Bruce in there, it's like, I'm not saying that's like, they're desperate, but it's like, you really need attention that much that you got to put baby Bruce in there? Like, come on.
Yeah, it definitely isn't necessary to me.
Hey, it is what it is.
What are we picking next, guys? I say we do 2 more things and call it a day.
Let me see. What about a look behind the music?
Oh no, I already saw that one earlier. That is Ducky XL. He basically said that he had already done like half of the score for Justice League before they took him off and put Danny Elfman in, and so he's finishing the rest of it, and he just kind of showed a preview of what the actual theme that he originally had for Justice League, and it was pretty dope. It was actually a really good theme. Sadly, Danny Elfman did not put that much work, in my opinion, into that score for the theatrical version of Justice League. So I'm glad that Junkie's getting work to be able to redo it and finish it. What else?
Side note, Naomi Osaka won the U.S. Open.
Oh, really?
Yep. Second time she won it. She's only 22.
So she's, wow, 2-time. That's crazy. Wait, who did she beat to win it?
She beat, I forgot the chick. She's the one that beat Serena last night at the Open and stuff, but she beat her.
Shouts out to her. That's dope. Okay. So, I mean, look, I'm gonna put Smallville in as a vote, but y'all can put whatever y'all want. I don't care.
They're really doing the blurred and bougie thing again tonight. That's interesting.
Yeah, they actually got a really dope shirt though. I actually was curious about that. Oh god.
Yeah, I got that shirt at the event. Vision and Fury. That's the Joker behind him. I actually seen that already.
Yeah, isn't this in like the special features for?
Yeah. Somebody actually had uploaded it on YouTube a while back before they took it down. Wow, they actually talked about Smallville. Wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They got Smallville stuff up here. Like I'm a big Smallville fan, but we can watch whatever y'all want. Just let me know if y'all see something behind those doors. Secret Origin, story of DC Comics. And anybody in the chat, y'all let us know what y'all want us to check out. HBO Max. At this age, who's gonna be? It should be. Yep, I agree. Jedi Mike. Definitely agree, bro. Multiverse, Comic Book Masters. Is that? Oh my god!
How about, did you check out production design already?
Hold on. Where is that in? Where's that?
It is in Insiderverse.
Okay, let me go back up. Multiverse Masterclass Animation. Ooh, oh my goodness! What? I definitely got to go back to that on my own time. I definitely want to see that. All right, so Insiderverse. Is it at the top?
It's towards the bottom. So creating a world, look into production design of DC Film Universe. I think that's the one that I still haven't watched yet.
What the heck? I'm trying to look for it. I don't see it. Is it? What's the exact name of it?
Creating a world. So it's in alphabetical order.
Oh,
no,
yeah. Okay. Creating a world, look into production design. Okay, cool. Yeah, honestly, y'all need to go back and check out the stunt.
I saw that one.
That one was really good.
Yeah.
Like the dude that the stunt coordinator for Titans, he was like, yo, what inspired him was like Blade. And he started going into like
Well, everyone, welcome to
craziness.
the DC FanDome
Okay,
panel,
here we
The
go.
Art of Production Design. We'll be spotlighting the artistry of production design today in the DC universe and through film and television. My name's Allison Klein. I work as a visual consultant and researcher, which means I get to work with all of you, the production designers and these visionaries. And I do that through a lot of in-depth research, through art history, the use of nature and incredible elements, and really support them during the creative process and building these fantastic worlds on film. So guys, can you all tell me a little bit about yourselves and where you come from in the DC universe? Maybe starting with Bill?
Where do I come from in the DC unit? Well, I'm a production designer for like over 40 years now. And I started with DC when I first did Catwoman back in the early, zeros up in Vancouver. And I've done quite a few movies for Warner Brothers. And I just kind of always been hanging around the comic book world and really enjoying doing these kind of movies. So I am lucky enough to work with James Wan on Fast and Furious 7, and he invited me to work with him on Aquaman. So
nice.
It was
nice drop.
Awesome. Well, happy to have you today. And Patrick?
My experience with the DC world is actually very.
He did production design for Batman,
Zack Snyder, and I've done two. Prior to that, I was doing things very
and
different.
Justice League.
But so this whole kind of, I come from more sci-fi than anything else. I started as a creature designer. Then started to production design a little bit, a bit of directing. But for most of my career, it was like science fiction until after doing 300, the second one for Zack Snyder, he asked me, offered me to do those two films. I mean, once Batman, Superman, and then Justice League. So that's my big block of things. This is my DC experience, but that was phenomenal. So this is where I am with this.
And Jennifer?
Okay, so I first started working with
Shazam.
James Wan in when he first started doing his horror stuff, and so I've been with the New Line family and Warner Brothers for quite a while, and I made the jump over to for the first time into the super world with David, and we decided to do this film together, and it's been an amazing experience. But it's my first one. I've been in the film industry for about 20 years, so lots of horror, lots of genre films, but this one was super different and super fun.
And Beth?
Great. So I, like Jen, I've also been doing this for about 20 years, and I come from the independent film world largely. I spent the first 10 years or so of my career in that arena. And then it was actually the independent film world that led me to the bigger budget comic book world. So I just wrapped my very first big tentpole superhero movie on March 1st, just 2 weeks before we found ourselves in our current situation. So so from the indie film world with Ryan and Anna on Half Nelson, many years ago, all the way to the DC universe. So
amazing! I know everyone's really excited about that. And while I have you, can you give us all a brief overview of what a production designer really is and what your job encompasses?
So in my view, the production designer really steers the visuals of the film, and it's our job to get inside the head of the director and really understand what his or her vision is and try to translate that into the screen. And while I think a lot of people probably look at production design as mostly being based on the sets, it's just so much more than that, which is extremely exciting for all of us. It's sets, yes, but it's you get into the locations, you get into the visual effects side of things, you work with special effects makeup artists, you work with special effects on the explosions and all those fun aspects. Talk with costumes, make sure the color palette is all going in the right direction. So while sets is, yes, the vast majority of what we do, it actually expands the entire visual world that you're entering into with every film. So that would be my recap of it.
And anyone else want to add to that? Your responsibilities, all encompassing, Bill?
Well, I totally agree with Beth. Basically we're kind of in the leadership role of the language of the visual language of the movie. I mean, obviously it's the director, he chooses the look of the movie and, the style, but there's literally on these kind of movies, thousands of people, and I mean thousands. And, it's kind of hard to worry about every, fish in the sea when you're doing Aquaman. So you need somebody to kind of like set the tone, set the look of the movie, have the palettes, as Beth was saying. It's kind of like a leadership role. So you kind of oversee it. So people have somebody to come to talk to about when they have an idea. Because clearly we don't design every nook and cranny of these movies. It would be impossible to. We have, very talented concept artists to do amazing work, and costume designers, or truly everybody that works on them usually is at a very high level of design. So your job is not to kind of squash their creativity, but promote it and get the most out of all these creative people you have working with you, and keep everything going in the same direction.
Patrick, being the visionaries of these films and TV shows, how do you work with all of the other departments to do what Bill said and make that vision unified for everybody?
Well, same thing here. I totally agree with Bill about the definition of the production design. My first thing is, there is one vision. There is one vision for the whole movie. There's not 20. That vision is what the director is bringing to the table. The big job of a designer is also, as multiple creative talents come on board with their touch, we make sure this direction, that strong vision, remains the same till the end, especially until you open the set for the director to come. So he knows he's got what he wanted. At the end of the day, that job carries on until the very end. I think you have to constantly make sure that those great ideas that came on very fresh up front in the beginning are not forgotten, because there's so many people, and they're all going to bring something, but there's one big thing, is the director's vision. Every director is different, but I believe you got to listen and you got to know what it is, and then you just carry on that thing till the end.
I think so too.
Jennifer, what were you going to say?
So everybody said the same, kinds of things that I also believe in terms of making sure you get what the director wants. But I guess on a personal level for me, and I'm sure you guys feel the same way, I feel like, production design in a lot of ways is a make-believe for grown-ups, because we just have to tap into all those amazing creative people that we bring to the table and be open to all their ideas. And then, based on what the director wants, you just kind of, you create this environment of creativity for everyone to bring their ideas to the table.
And just to throw it out to the group in general, is there any particular department that you really thrive working with that's so creatively inspiring to you guys? Say costumes or set deck or VFX. Is there anything inspiring?
I really like working with the sculpting and the paint departments myself. That's where I spend most of my time, is because that's what you really see in a movie. In construction, obviously, I love building scenery. I've been building since I was a young boy, and I love the raw part of the movie. The shooting of the movie is important, but to me, the most fun part of the movie is making what we see on stage, and putting it on stage.
I'm the same way. I love paint. I love the smell of wood, when they're building. I love to get to know all of my crew, all the carpenters. I want to make sure that they feel like a part of the movie, because I think that brings a tone to the film.
And springboarding off of that creativity, I know all of you have worked on such a plethora of different genres, and that's so exciting to bring to the table. But what is it exactly about working, say, on a superhero genre film that makes this design experience so unique?
Basically, what we're doing is mythology. It's modern mythology, and it's the one chance to be doing the big opera, whatever mythology is, kind of like the Greek
visually,
myths. And we're doing that kind of storytelling. They're usually these movies
from a visual
good
standpoint.
evil,
Aquaman was designed
very basic,
amazingly.
simple questions that have to be solved with gigantic consequences. You get a chance to do things that you only dreamed of when you were a little boy or
I'll talk about that later.
I was going to say along the same lines, and I think
the movie is beautiful,
very new to this, the bigger tentpole world and the superhero world.
These
movies ask us to go into worlds that just don't exist. You can't walk into Atlantis and these spaces. So we really get to start from scratch and the fantasy aspect and let it all come from the imagination.
The whole thing about the superhero, it's not just about the character. Of course, those are the roots of the stories, but there is a language, a visual language, and they all come with their world. So for a designer, as we work, based on the character, they will also develop their world. It's really rich on sets, on worlds, on props, on all those things. It's so much part of who they are. So it's a very, very creative world where you have so much to play with.
So bringing up the world of the DC universe and, hearing from you guys, and we all know that they've been established in comic years and bringing up, I'm so curious to see, Jennifer, how important is it to you that you stay close to those source materials?
Well, I think iconically, in the comic books of Shazam, there was a very specific world, especially his lair, and the way it was drawn in the pages. And David Sandberg, the director, really wanted to stick to that. So we made it, our first priority to do such design, to keep it in the realm of when you open the comic book and we looked at all of the stuff that was there and what were the props that were in the hallway as you move through, and how did they get to the space and things like that. So we kept very close to the comic because it was really important to David, and I think also the fans. They wanted to see it's the first one of the Shazam series. So within the world of Shazam and his lair, we kept it the same, and that went across the board for the costume as well. We kept it old school.
Really interesting. And Bill, how did you find that with Atlantis?
Well, with James, he you know, he wanted to make an Aquaman that he grew up with. And the reason you do that, I would suppose, is that all the world grew up with the same Aquaman. So why would you go and change it, put him in a different costume all of a sudden? You know, I mean, obviously you could make changes and small things like that, but I think we owe it to our audiences who come to the movies because they grew up with the same characters and they believe Superman, it's got a cape and you wouldn't do it without a cape, even though a cape is not so easy to deal with and all that stuff. So with Aquaman, James was very specific. He wanted those characters, and especially with Kim Barrett and the costumes, that we really riffed off the original characters in the comics.
And Patrick, with Batman versus Superman, I mean, that's a lot of source material to deal with. Is there anyone that you want to focus on? Is there anything that you brought to the table that you were really, really proud of in showcasing any of those characters?
When Zach called me and told me, hey, I'm doing Batman versus Superman, my first question was, oh, wait, it's like Man of Steel versus Dark Knight, meaning we bring back all the stuff from Dark Knight. I said, no, we're doing our own Batman. And, you know, okay, of course, we'd like to work on any of those things, but when you get a chance to create something, again, like all of you guys have had a chance to create something from scratch, it's so much more interesting. You can develop something. You can sit down with the director and say, hey, what's your Batman? Who's your Batman? And take all that and then have a chance to go in a different direction. Still respecting all those rules, like Bill is saying, those rules are going to be there. You can't disrespect them. It's a big deal. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but for me, yeah, when you get a chance to start from the beginning with a fresh, brand new director for something that's new like this, I don't know if you all feel the same way, but that was unique for me.
Yeah, I can kind of nicely dovetail right off of what Patrick was just saying. You know, in our movie, James Gunn really wanted to bring to the screen many obscure characters that most people actually probably won't know unless you're just a fan to the nth degree and you've memorized some of the very few pages where these characters appeared. So a lot of the Suicide Squad and a lot of the characters we meet throughout our movie are just completely brand new. But it was also really important that the few folks that would know these characters out in the world, that we at least make them identifiable. So it was really fun. We did really stick with what was on the page, with what was on the original comics for a lot of the looks of those characters and for the worlds that we go into. Just so that there was that one little thread, like Bill said, that one little thread that you kind of build off of. But then that being said, in our movie, we also, while we wanted to make sure that the characters and the places were recognizable to the fans, we also wanted to take a handful of really key locations or key sets and key characters, and while yes, make them identifiable for the audience, we also wanted to make them very much our own and give it our own little signature a little bit. So
really exciting. So now we're going to move into kind of more personal questions for everybody. And Beth, I'm going to start with you, if that's all right. In a general sense, can you tell us what your experience was like on the film?
Part of James's vision for this movie, for Suicide Squad, was he wanted to get away from having it be a big visual effects spectacle. He wanted to use visual effects where needed to bring some certain characters to life, or to maybe just a set extension in the back. Slightly. But his mandate from the very beginning was that he wanted to build.
It actually confirms what's out there regarding the villain is. So
size and this nature and this sort of fantastical element that goes into superhero movies. You normally spend a vast majority of your shoot days on green screen.
It's just like
but for our movie, we shot almost 90 days, and only 3 of those were against blue screen. Everything else was a physical set, or a few days out on a real location, out on a street or out at a bar. So to have that much actual physical scenery in a frame is really unusual for a movie like this and a movie of this size. And James just said he just really believed and really felt like having the tactile quality of the sets and having the creatures and the characters be things that actually feels like you could touch and you could be right next to. It was really, really important to him. And so we did practical special effects. We really blew things up. We flooded sets. We tilted sets on gimbals. We threw everything into disarray physically and in person. And for a lot of the characters and the creatures, they were actual prosthetics and actual animatronics, kind of getting back to Jim Henson kind of days. So that's how we approached the movie. From my standpoint, stages and 2 mass backlots, and we were just building for months and months and months, and it was just a thrill. Still pinching myself we got to do that.
Well, congratulations. I know we can't wait to see it.
Thank you.
And Bill, speaking of scope and scale, Aquaman, The scale of that movie is huge. We visit Atlantis, multiple kingdoms, sunken ships. We're introduced to new underwater species. Basically travel with you everywhere under the sea. Where do you even start designing an underwater world?
That was a hard one. I got to be honest with you. And basically, if you, as a production designer, and I think these other guys would agree, if you have a process and you can make a little tiny movie and you use the same process on how do you, get to where the characters are, where they live. We try to create this whole mythology in our own brains. And so we had to work it all out. We had to work out the backstory to the characters, where they ate for dinner, where they go, how they sleep, all the kind of crazy things you don't really think about. It was just so much fun. I mean, I'm very excited about doing another one. So it's coming.
And Patrick, you mentioned earlier, you work so closely in the process with the director to best understand their vision and to help translate that into a physical form. I know you talked about working with Zach a little bit more. Can you talk more about those conversations? And has there been anything that's completely inspired you after a conversation with the director that and I know you're an incredible artist. Is there anything that's inspired you that you've just had to immediately run out and put it down on paper?
Well, here you go. I think something like that happened. The first time I met Zach, it was a short meeting where he told me about the whole story about, Batman, Superman. Like I said, is this the same Batman? And he says, no, it's a new one. And he's starting to describe me the character and saying, he's a bigger guy, he's bolder, he's tougher, he's a little older. A few words like that. And really, and more than that, a few things that I said, okay, great, this sounds fantastic. I took off, I went to get a coffee, I sat down in a coffee shop, had a coffee, and there was a napkin, and I sketched out the Batmobile. Sorry, I talk a lot about the Batmobile, but this was a turn thing for me on this series. So I sketched out the Batmobile, and I was so inspired by this thing. It became some kind of a brutalist kind of vehicle. Drew that based on his comments and his approach, which was again just 15 minutes. It was so clear, so to the point that it was not like a long process. It just got me inspired right away. So I drew the Batmobile, brought it back, and that was the Batmobile.
And to open up just to everybody, in the DC world, you're creating and you're bringing to life, like you spoke about, these extremely iconic characters. And I was wondering, has there been a fandom moment for you guys working on these films? Can you talk to me a little bit about that and your personal fan moments working on these superhero genre films?
I've done so many sets. I always joke about it when I start a movie. Oh, this is the third submarine set, or this is, somebody's, lair again. Oh, whose lair is this? And you get confused. But in Aquaman, I got to do a set that was such a simple set, but was so much fun to do. I got to do inside of a whale. And I thought,
cool.
I thought that, that was kind of the moment, because when you were a kid, Aquaman could always go up and he could touch the fish and talk to them and get inside their mouths. And we had to do a little whale set where Amber Heard and Jason Momoa go inside of a whale's mouth, and they kind of have like a little quasi-romantic moment, but it wasn't, because it was all smelly and there was fish in there. And how did we do inside the whale? And we had to have like little lights and LEDs built into and I thought that out of all the sets I've done in my career, and I have done pretty much all of them, I think, at some point. But the whale mouth to me was was actually kind of fun.
That's awesome. And Beth, what about you?
Yes, I had a number of those moments on Suicide Squad. Where just a big grin overtakes your face when you see everything come together, and you've at least kind of helped to assemble something that audiences are going to remember and take away. Only because I have to be a little bit cryptic, I can say we do see Harley Quinn in this amazing red dress. I'm not giving anything away because the paparazzi, I think, caught photos of her in that. And so I talked really early on with James, with costume designer, about making her kind of pop and really kind of glow and be the standout character in one of our main sets. And so I really designed a color palette around just giving a lot of cool colors and really beautiful kind of rich kind of cool teal tones to kind of surround her as she comes into the space. Seeing Harley come on in that amazing dress, surrounded by all these color choices that we had made for the sets, and seeing her sort of glow with them, that was a really exciting moment for me. And later James said he thinks thinks it's one of the best shots, and the best sets of the movie. So I was really happy with how that came together.
Really excited. Can't wait to see that. So Jennifer, anything for you that, in that, again, Beth just spoke about the combination of all of that work and location scouting and research and your vision and stepping out onto a set or seeing a particular character or anything that was your particular FanDome moment?
Okay, so for me, I think building designing and building the group home was one of the highlights for me. When we were developing the house for the kids to live in, a group home, that was really fun for me personally, because before I even got into this industry, I ran a group home for 9 to 13-year-olds for 7 years. So it was really fun to bring that part of myself into the movie and create a space, out of all my experiences. The second thing was when David and I were trying to figure out this fight scene and how we were going to get our characters fly through the air, and he has to shove this kid's head into some kind of water, so that he can't say Shazam. And so it was a winter carnival, so we were trying to think of what could I create that would give him that water. And when I was a kid, I ice fished every winter with my dad. So I sort of said, well, why don't we build like a whole fish, ice fish hut and have ice on the top, and then there'll be water underneath. And, part of the carnival thing would be you could, fish. So it was really fun for me to build the cabin and the little ice hut, and it was so much fun. David and I had so much fun with it, and developing how they would move through the characters and blow the ice up, and so I've always pulled from my own experience if I can. But those moments when it came together and it was so beautiful, I was just like, wow, this is so much fun.
Patrick, for you, your ultimate fan moment on set.
Ultimate fan moments. I'm going to say a little bit like Bill said, my favorite sets are usually the tiny little one, or the one that I just, people don't really click on, but they really do something for me. They're kind of magical. Now, the big moment, though, is it has to be the Batcave, but not the Batcave only. So this is the day the Batmobile arrived in the snow in Detroit and was downloaded from the truck and started to drive up the bridge in the Batcave. Because what it is like for months, you developed one set. It was a big set. The Batcave was a huge set, and the Batmobile was done separately. And, so we building those two things and suddenly seeing them marrying together, because they were always meant to be together. It's almost like you put the last piece, like the cherry on top of the cake, and missing. The garage, if you may, was there, and there was no Batmobile. The day I heard the thing coming out, they opened the big bay door, and then the car came up. I gotta say, just like I felt a bit like a proud father, a little bit. I don't, we don't own those things, but we feel so proud of it. And I looked at everybody listening to the sound of that thing, going up the ramp and just going to park there. That's probably the biggest thing for me ever.
All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me today for the DC FanDome panel, Art of Production Design. It was amazing speaking with you all, and thanks again.
Thanks for having us.
Honored
Thank you, everybody.
Included. Thank you so much.
To meet you all, guys. It's great that we do this and finally meet each other like this. So
Yeah.
Take care. Good luck with everything.
You too.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye,
Good
guys.
luck, guys.
Bye, everybody.
See you all again
Bye.
soon.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
See you at the movies.
All right. So that was that. Let me go back out of this. All right. Any notes on this, you guys? Anybody? Any thoughts?
I mean, nothing much really.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird
Well,
because like everybody was saying that this was going to be the one that was going to, blow up. Oh man, Marvel's going to be scared. I'm like, it's just TV show stuff. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It's like I get the whole DC and Marvel thing, and I get it, but at the same time, it's like, why show something if you don't have it? So I mean, DC clearly has some material they can show, but nothing much you can really do news wise that's going to help in the grand scheme. But it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely like what you get from like a con experience. You get things that are intriguing, that may have like some some good gems. Like I said, like this whole like Heroes Beyond Action, like if we didn't already air it already, you know, before, I would air it all over again. It was actually really good. It was really good material. Like the last one, it was really informative, but this one they actually showed and broke down, you know, like how those scenes were actually done. It was actually really cool. But
I mean, it's like you said though. I think having everything pre-recorded did kind of help the flow of everything though in the grand scheme. So,
bruh, I'm telling you, bruh, on August the 22nd, they should have just had it for 3 days straight and just did exactly like this.
I mean, you could tell that you could tell this material was stuff that was supposed to be for that weekend, but they had to hold off on it because this stuff looked like this was like live stuff to a degree. And it was like, all right, well, we're going to do 2 days now. So all the stuff like the Flash stuff pretty much got pushed back to this day now. So
yeah. Oh shoot, I didn't even mean to do that. Hold on. All right, what do y'all want to watch? I kind of like threw that up.
Actually, I'm about to bounce out of here and stuff.
Look, I'm only concentrating on trying to get this right here. I don't know if y'all can see it. Hold on, let me pull it back a little bit.
What is that? Oh. The hero flag. That's actually pretty dope.
Like I was like, I gotta get this poster. There's no way I can't not get this poster.
How big is the poster? I mean, that's a huge poster though.
So they got like 24 by 36, like full size.
Huh.
And I was gonna get like the one that's for Jim Lee's with this, but like the poster itself is like a white outline instead of a black outline. I was like, nah, I just rather get it as a t-shirt instead. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know, unless there's something like really pressing for us to kind of watch. I think we've kind of gone through all the big nuggets. There wasn't anything that I was hoping for in terms of like announcements as far as the TV stuff. This would have been the good opportunity for them to really talk about their HBO Max shows. Like if they were like, okay,
Doom Patrol thing was the only thing that was like big HBO Max news, honestly.
Yeah, I'm trying to think because they sent like a couple of different emails. Let's see. I'm gonna try to go through them real quick before I get offline. Brandon, do you have anything while I'm trying to look for this?
No, I mean most of you guys pretty much covered it. I mean it kind of seems anticlimactic in a way because, you know, if they had just had all of this included in just the one show, it would have been
it would have flowed a lot better.
It would have been so much better.
Yeah, matter of fact, yeah, I just went through all the different like emails, and the only big thing is that Doom Patrol is being renewed for season 3. And we already know. I mean, I went through the Titans panel, and of course, Titans is going to season 3. They didn't talk about the transition going to HBO Max. And the Harley Quinn panel they did do, she's definitely going, you know, for a 3rd season. It's gonna happen.
They didn't really confirm it, if I remember correctly. Like they didn't go into it. They tried to like go around the question because I remember it was asked.
Yep. And weird thing is, this is one of the problems that I had about August the 22nd. The whole concept about this is the multiverse. Even this is called exploring the multiverse. Why? There's nothing of true substance actually stating that these shows and comics and shows and movies are doing what they've already said they're going to do. They've already said it, that these things are going to start to intertwine, but they're like holding on to it for whatever reason. And I feel like that was a missed opportunity. The HBO Max stuff and the whole concept of multiverse, they missed the mark with that. Great execution. It was very entertaining. It was the most entertaining virtual con I've seen all year. This is my only con experience. I think, you know, Brandon can attest that, you know, at least we got this.
Yeah.
Because otherwise we wouldn't have anything else. I don't know. I just think that this was a missed opportunity, man. Like, just looking at this, part of me is like, man, it would have been so dope if I was like, yo, I'm about to go look at the Batman joint, like, right now, you know, like, and just start that up.
But I mean, at the end of the day, like you said, in terms of the presentation and stuff, it was very organized. It's just that last minute change from the first time they did this was kind of like they didn't really need to do that.
No,
they didn't.
Nah, because, like, look at this. Like, this is dope. Like, this is like them transitioning over to the Batman. Like, imagine this was the last thing that we were seeing tonight because we could have avoided all the stuff we didn't want to see with topics with the, you know, the TV universe stuff. And we talked about it. We said this last time. Like, the filler that we got could have been avoided. It could have been completely avoided. And we still could have gotten these epic moments like right now. But
yeah.
I don't know.
It is what it is.
Let me purchase this darn poster real quick.
But I'm gonna bounce out of here though. But appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, no problem, man. Oh, plug yourself.
I'm 1/3 of Three Black Geeks, our podcast. You can find all our material on YouTube and also any of your podcasting apps and stuff. Just type in Three Black Geeks and you'll find it. You can also find us on Twitter at Three Black Geeks. You can find me on my personal Twitter at CJWizGeek. And we do weekly shows, and occasionally Sam will jump in on a show and stuff. I'm actually trying to get Sam on for The Boys whenever I get a chance to on that. But other than that, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yo, if you do one for Cobra Kai, let a brother know.
Mad because I saw Cobra Kai years ago when it was on YouTube Red. I mean, you know, I just did the free trial and just watched it all and then canceled it and stuff.
Before no one jumped on the bandwagon.
Yeah, it was kind of like I watched it on YouTube Red with the free trial after it was done, and I just watched it all, and I was like, all right, that was cool, and then kept it moving afterwards and stuff. But I mean, it's good that the show's on Netflix and stuff. It makes sense that it had to move there. So,
dude, I love that joint.
Yeah,
I love that joint. All right, CJ,
I'm out.
Later, dude.
Later.
Oh boy. Well, Brandon, what should we do, man?
I actually got bounced, man, too. Actually.
Well, I'm about to call it. I'm gonna let you plug yourself real quick.
All right. As always, Sam, thanks for asking me to hop on and chat about the show. You can find my stuff on Movers and Shakers Unlimited. I'm the host, co-creator of Movers and Shakers Unlimited. You can find us on Facebook, where we do a lot of live shows with a lot of guests. So be sure to check those out. You can also find us on Twitter at Move and Shake UNLTD, on Instagram at Movers Shakers Unlimited, where we post a lot of our information from our website, moversshakersunlimited.com. And my personal one, you can find me on Twitter, Brandon Troy ENT, and Brandon Troy _ENT on Instagram. So you guys have it.
Yo, this man is making moves, y'all. Like, no joke. He is interviewing some people, and I'm like, yo, when did he start talking to this person? Like, how did he get this interview? So you guys definitely, like, he's got some really great content. Definitely go and check out all his content on his YouTube page. And the interviews are very precise, and I think you guys will get a lot from it. So definitely go and check him out, okay? Thanks, Brandon. Later, bro.
Later.
All right, you guys, y'all need to let me know what y'all want me to do. This is y'all's time. All 11 of you guys, if you guys want me to continue, I will. If not, I will call it. And I can do my recap of what I think about DC fandom as I continue to try to purchase this poster. Contemplating the t-shirt. I don't know if I want the t-shirt. So anybody in the chat right now, please speak now or forever hold your peace. So serious. You guys there? Anybody? Trying to message you guys in the chat. Oh man, ain't nobody saying nothing. Okay, well, I guess what I'll do is I will finish up and close everything out then. Because everything else at this point I can kind of like check out on my own time. Complete order. All right. Thank you for sharing. Peace and blessings. Have a good night. Frankie, Johnny, thank you so much for continuously being here and commenting. Your comments and your likes are pivotal to Team JVS. I really do, from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate you, and I thank God for you, man. So my thoughts of DC FanDome part 2. It was fun. I like the ability of being able to choose what I wanted to pick at any given time and state. I'll let y'all look at something while I'm sitting there talking and rambling, or I'll do it like this. Maybe that's a little bit easier. I like having the option, you know, being able to pick what I really wanted to see and check out. I love the interactivity, you know, of the fan questions. I would say I would critique from the Hall of Heroes. Any of those fan questions should have been left for the fan questions only. They shouldn't have wasted any other actual time of the panels answering the fan questions. Those should have been specific as they are. Like those State Farm questions and random filler questions really just drew out time for no good reason, where I think that they could have really made a lot of pivotal time moments to introduce like maybe a new announcement of a character or design or talking about an upcoming show. And I really am disappointed that the HBO Max didn't establish that DC Universe is not going to be what it is. And maybe somebody did leave a rumor that HBO Max is going to have their own FanDome, which hopefully it's not as big as this, because this is hard to cover. I have a family, I have a whole wife and a child, and my wife is a superstar for taking care of my son today while I'm sitting here doing this, and all credits and love go out to her for holding down the fort. So it makes it hard every single time I have to kind of like overlap this from a time standpoint. But again, I do like that this was on demand. I can pick whatever I really wanted to pick and go and check it out. I will be going back over some of the Hall of Heroes panels, specifically the Zack Snyder Hall of Heroes panel. If you guys want me to go and react to that, I can. I might just react to it and at least just save it for you guys, just so I can kind of have it and critique and talk about it. I think that'd be really fun, because the last time I did, I had it with so many different people. So I think I might do that and save it, and I might post that up a little bit later on. What else? As far as the TV stuff that they got, I love the Black Panther. Not Black Panther. Lord Jesus, the Black Lightning panel. I thought that was very informative. I thought it was very insightful. I really enjoyed that. Titans panel was a lot better. The Flash panel was a lot better. Like the thing was, like, August the 22nd, they didn't need those 15-minute like panels. It was fruitless. Like, they had 2 specific spots that were supposed to be for 2 secret projects. One was for a movie, one for a TV series. And they used that gap for filler for a panel that already was going to be done today. And it really makes no sense to me. There's definitely some stuff going on underneath the cuff, and I feel like they're trying to make it as an opportunity of kind of like branching things out longer, stretching it out. And I do think that there's some possible truth to HBO Max doing their own FanDome, whatever, you know, as far as the future projects, because the fact that they really didn't establish that DC Universe is going to be maneuvering over, and Jim Lee alluded on either one of the videos or panels, or it was on Twitter, that there's going to be a upcoming announcement about DC Universe and what that's going to be, leads me to believe that they're going to have something more in the line of details about it. So we'll get to that, I guess, a little bit later on. And for now, I appreciate you guys. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit that bell button. And if you haven't, definitely go and check out our part 1 of today's DC FanDome experience exploring the multiverse. Oh, the multiverse. From what I can gather, based on Barbara Muschetti, the Flash universe is going to reboot everything. Take what you will with that. I kind of figured that's what they were going to do. I don't necessarily like that, because the whole point of introducing the multiverse is saying that you don't have to reboot anything. You just branch this off into a different universe. That Zach's universe could be its own. Matt's universe can be its own. The TV universe can be its own, and you just go from there. But that's definitely been confirmed. DC characters are going to be all in the Flash movie. Oh, and Wonder Woman has been delayed until December, maybe possibly delayed even more. I don't know. It's a really gray area right now. And I didn't go through any of the comic book stuff. I did want to go through the Rorschach's journal. I'm gonna go back really quick so I can just show you guys. I don't think I'm gonna go through it right now, but I did want to show you guys what I'm talking about. Watchtower. I'm assuming it's got to be in Watchverse. Watchmen Unmasked. I don't think that's it. I think it might be an Insiderverse. I can't find it. 18 minutes. I think this is a part of the Watchmen Blu-ray. That's the reason why I didn't go through it, because I was like, this is available to me. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? I think it is at the bottom of this one. Is it? I do want to go over the Smallville stuff. That's sadly going to get left to the curve. Like, I'm not going to. I don't see it. I don't know where I saw it at. I know I had it. I just don't know where it's at. Sad. I don't know where it's at. Maybe I put it in my schedule. Let me check there. I know I did have it though. Yeah, I don't see it anymore. All right. So I don't wanna waste any of you guys' time anymore, because I feel like I'm just rambling at this point. But definitely leave a like, and I'll talk to you guys a little bit later on. I'm gonna go and check out Zack Snyder's panel right now, and I'll record that separately so you guys can kind of have that in your back pocket. That'll have my unfiltered thoughts on it, and I can also have like an actual commentary copy to be able to, talk about it as well. All right, keep it locked. JVS, we ain't gonna stop. You guys have a blessed one. Hopefully you guys had a great Saturday. Hopefully we provided some kind of form of entertainment for you guys. If you did, make sure you please subscribe, hit that bell button, leave us a like. Have a blessed one, guys. Peace.